YouTube, live on YouTube. So shout out, y'all. Make sure y'all go ahead and tweet the space out. Just got out that Twitter suspension, so I'm back in full effect. Was able to go ahead and tweet out some content today. So shout out to everybody. Shout out to all the fathers up in the space as well too. Shout out to Ray, Professor Ray. Shout out to you. Thank you for the text earlier, wishing me a happy Father's Day to you as well, my brother. Shout out. We definitely, that's why I want to talk about the Father's Day, because there was an article on CNN that they were dismissing some of this nonsense about the stereotypical black father not doing this, not doing that, or whatever. So we definitely want to go ahead and talk about that as well too. Of course, the Juneteenth thing, y'all know we've been talking about the Juneteenth thing for a minute, but with the holiday there, a lot of people, a lot of cities around the country were holding festivals and events. So we definitely want to go ahead and get that in as well too. And like I said, we'll talk about the Tupac situation. Ray actually went viral. He had a post about the actual topic tonight that garnered 5-6 million views on Twitter right here. So Ray actually went viral with a huge post talking about this. I think Ray posted it on Tupac's birthday. So I mean, it picked up some steam. So shout out to Ray, and like I said, the Sukihana thing as well too. Because the guy YK Osiris, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know a song that YK sings. A song, I don't know any Suki stuff. I seen Suki back in the day when I used to watch I shouldn't even say back in the day, a few years ago when I used to watch Love and Hip Hop. I did used to watch it, and that's when I first seen her on there. So I don't know anything that Sukihana sings or whatever. I only knew her from the Love and Hip Hop. So yeah, man, tonight's gonna be a mixed space. We're gonna kind of hit it here, hit it there. We look forward to having our people come up in here. I see some of our people already up in here as well too. So shout out to you guys as well too. Ray, what's going on? And let me give a shout out to everybody in the space. Volvo, Tony, Charles.
What's up, man? So I just want to drop in and say happy Father's Day to all the fellas that are lucky enough to be fathers. But yeah, when I posted that, I wasn't even thinking about Tupac's birthday at all. I just randomly posted it. And then I think it was the day after was his actual birthday. But I got so much backlash from that mess, man. And even though it was 2 years old, I think it's something very relevant. Because, bro, I'm up to, I think, 7.5 million people that have seen it. And I got, people up constantly commenting on this stuff. And according to them, I'm the biggest homophobe that's ever been just because I got a different opinion from them.
And what I find interesting,
that tweet, yo, you should pin that shit to your thing.
Yeah, go ahead and pin that, Ray. But what I find interesting about it is Tupac himself would have had an issue with that. So I guess Tupac would have been a homophobe as well too, because Tupac at no time in this man's career did he ever anything like that. How are you linking Tupac's name with LGBTQ? Like, they can only do this stuff because, like I said, his mother's gone and there's no immediate family ahead of his estate or whatever like that. So that's the messed up thing that a lot of times we see with these black people, these legendary black icons, when there's no family member, and depending on the family member, because let's be honest, you got plenty of family members who will sell out too for the right price. When you have these people from the outside come up here, start projecting their nonsense, you have situations like this take place. So I find that so interesting that people are actually upset with you, because the diehard Tupac fans would have an issue with that. The people that supported Tupac, love his music and stuff like that, they would have had an issue with that. So I find that so fascinating that people sitting up here and they're trying to go at you for simply just posting something. Tupac never did any pride things like that to our knowledge. So I don't know why everybody's getting upset with you. But go ahead, Ray.
Well, for what I've seen, a lot of that backlash and I'm getting is people like they send me DMs. You remember that picture of Tupac back in the day where he did that photo shoot? He was laying in the tub, all the jewelry on. It's like, see, he had LGBT tendencies. And
now we just throwing dirt on the man.
He had a nose ring. Yeah. Evidently, back in the day, he was hanging out with Queen Latifah, I want to say, and he actually did a performance in a gay bar in San Francisco. But I mean, that's like just reaching for straws at that point, because he's an artist. If you pay me $10,000 to go in and sing a song, I'm gonna go in and do it. That doesn't mean I support, or against LGBT at all. It just means, hell, I'm on here to get this check. So that's the type of stuff I've been seeing.
Yeah, the hate is strong now. Like, every black person now, they're gonna go ahead and they're gonna revise their history and they're gonna revise their career and say this and that or whatever. Let's put it this way. I've never heard anything, and it's crazy. I never heard anything about Tupac LGBTQ. I'm sure the man didn't have any issues with him. I'm sure he didn't hate him. But I never heard anything like that. So to go ahead and sit up here and say all of a sudden now that, Tupac was this and Tupac was that after he's been dead, the man's been dead, good Lord, for almost 30 years. He's been dead since 1996. We in 2023, you talk about going on 27 years, I believe, this September. So to sit up here and act like almost 30 years later to come up here with this stuff and try to go ahead and denigrate the man and this and that or whatever. And this is the thing, this is the issue that a lot of Black folks have with the LGBT community. Like, you guys are truly, as small a group as you are truly a protective class. You can say and things about, other groups that they can't say about you. You're sitting up here telling us what we can and can't say about Tupac or whatever. Because I mean, we grew up listening to Tupac, so we know exactly. None of this was ever the case. Now you're sitting up here putting out clothes and this and that or whatever, and you want to use the song Changes that had nothing. Changes is talking about. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead real quick. While we on this topic real quick. And Professor, y'all let me know, because sometimes I go to the actual site and read the actual article. Let me know, Professor, is everything clear right now?
Yeah, you good, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, everything's good.
This is from Hypebeast, and it says Tupac Estate celebrates Pride Month with new merch collection. The estate of Tupac Shakur is celebrating Pride Month with new merchandise collection. Comprised of 3 pieces, the capsule highlights Pac's greatest hits cut Changes, which originally here's the late rapper touch on the war on drugs, police brutality, racism, and poverty. Let me go ahead and repeat that again. The war on drugs, police brutality, racism, and poverty. All the items, a black hoodie and 2 t-shirts in black and white, feature the track's title and a rainbow for Pride Month and Tupac's name, as well as vivid illustrations of the artist in similar colors. The estate announced on Twitter, like I said, this is back in July 21. The estate announced on Twitter that 100% of the net proceeds will be donated to the Marsha P. Johnson Institute, an organization dedicated to protecting the human rights of Black transgender people, and Cyndi Lauper's True Colors United, which focuses on LGBTQIA+, who make up 40% of the homeless youth in America. Take a look at the pieces above and a cop a piece of Tupac's official website. So it clearly told you exactly what the song was about. And that song mentions nothing about, no offense, and not taking a shot, that talked about police brutality, poverty, and the war on drugs. Where in that article did it state that Tupac said anything? And not only that, you're going to take all the proceeds. This is the people that own his estate. You're going to take all the proceeds and you're going to give it to the LGBTQIA organizations. You're not giving it to any Black organizations. And I guarantee you, out of the LGBTQIA organizations that are getting the money, I guarantee you a very, 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 very small percent, a very small fraction of that is actually going to the Black LGBTQIA kids and stuff like that. So this man who sat up here and talked about Black people's struggles in this country the whole time through his music, a song that was talking about it, making mentions of Black people in the actual songs, and you're gonna sit up here and you're gonna say, well, you know what, we're gonna use Tupac's estate because you know what, we own it, we control it. Like most of the things in this world, we own it, we control. We're gonna sit up here, we're gonna use this estate. Then we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna take 100% of the proceeds. Now you got Cyndi Lauper, who was a huge star in the 80s herself, and you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna donate it to one of her organizations and another organization. And people understand, they get upset when Black people get upset in this country and wonder why things are the way they are. Go ahead, Ray, and then we're gonna kick it to Professor.
I was just gonna say real quick, and if you even slightly disagree with them, the first thing they say, "Well, you're homophobic." No, yeah, I hate that in this society you can't even disagree with someone without trying to call you homophobic or trying to put some type of some type of label on you. Gay people don't have all the answers, and neither do straight people. But I can give my opinion in social media. If you don't like it, keep it pushing. I just didn't like the fact, I got all that pushback, over an opinion.
Real talk. Let me go ahead and let Professor go ahead. Professor, you got it. And any of you guys want to speak? Like I said, we talking on Father's Day, Juneteenth, the Sukihana thing as well, guys. We're going to try to have a nice mix. I see right now we got in other spaces, we had our sisters coming through strong, but I see a bunch of brothers up in the space today. So shout out to all you brothers who may be fathers even if you don't have a biological child, you may be uncles or big cousins or big brothers or whatever. So shout out to all y'all. I'm giving you that shout out. Much love to you brothers for holding it down. Let me go ahead and get the professor. Professor, happy Father's Day. What's going on, bro?
Yeah, same to you, man. And I was glad to see that you was holding a space today, because that gave me a chance to come into the space, of course, to say happy Father's Day to all the Black American brothers that are up in here right now, and the ones that are getting ready to come up in here, because I know it's going to be a great space. Always is. But happy Father's Day to all of you, all the fathers out there. And definitely, when it comes to our brother Pac, if you listen to any of his music always centered around Black American civil rights issues. It was never around this whole alphabet, gay pride, rainbow bullshit, okay? I'm really tired of this shit being pushed into our direction, into our communities, and pushed to where they want us to accept it. And I'm sorry, you can call me homophobic. See, Ray, he mentioned the homophobic thing. I don't give a shit about them calling me homophobic. You can call me homophobic. You can call me transphobic. That's what you want to do. You call me that. I'm tired of you motherfuckers trying to latch on to Black American civil rights issues. Your issues are going to have to be addressed with human rights. So when you're trying to address human rights issues, you take that over there to the United Nations, or to that other shit over there, the Nuremberg, or whatever they call that over there, the Geneva Convention, the Geneva Convention. See, you address that to those folks. The Black American civil rights issues are issues that face us over here on a daily basis, stemming all the way back from slavery, all the way up till now with the police brutality, with redlining, black codes, Jim Crow. You name all of the stuff that has been done to us. That's what the Black American civil rights issues about. And you goddamn gay motherfuckers need to stay the fuck off our issues, trying to latch on to it. Don't bring your stupid shit, your silly shit that you just because you confused on what you want to be and who you want to be with, and this he, she, and they, him, and shim, him, and bim, and dim, whatever you call yourself. That has nothing to do with Black American civil rights issues. Your issues are going to be taken up with human rights, with United Nations, or the Geneva Convention. Do not come into our shit with your gay bullshit, okay? I'm going to land right there.
All right. Thank you, Professor. Thank you. I'm also touch up on this. I want to touch up on this Father's Day, this article that I put up in the Jumbotron as well, too, guys. I want to go ahead because we know, for those of us Black men, we know the actual the stereotype that Black men get. You always hear about the Black man not in the household. You always hear about the Black man not doing this. You always hear about the Black man not doing that. Raw data shows that the Black men that are involved with their kids, generally have a higher bond, a tighter bond with their kids than any other group of people. So we sometimes we go ahead and we see stuff on TV, and sometimes TV just recycling that same image. It's a reason why we call it programming, y'all. To get down to the gist of it, it's always been about programming. It's always been about programming the mind and putting in visions and images of what they think people should actually look at and see or whatever. So I want to go ahead real quick. And of course, you guys know how it is in the space. Feel free to touch up on any topic tonight. Like I say, we trying to go ahead and put a decent amount of content out here tonight, so we can cover it all. We want to talk about the Juneteenth as well too. Loads of Juneteenth festivals all over the actual the actual country. Juneteenth is something that we see being more commercialized day in day, or year in year, I should say. Is something that we need to go ahead and start commercializing ourselves. If other people are going to use it and market and make money off of the actual history of what Black people went through in this country, is something that we need to go ahead and try to start controlling our very selves as much as possible as well too. I know we can't control every single solitary thing that goes along with it, but we need to go ahead and start controlling more of the stuff that's going along with it. So real quick, guys, and I don't know if I feel like reading this entire article, but I do want to just touch up on some key things of this article about Black dads. It's up in the Jumbotron. It was on the AtlantaVoice.com. They curated from CNN. We curated also Black dads are more likely to play, dress, and share a meal with their child. Data shows. CNN, as he was growing up, Jeremy Gibbons says the narrative he heard around black fathers was different than the one he lived in movies, television, in generalized conversation. They were portrayed as absent, not engaged, or overall not very good fathers. He said, in my own experiences, not just with my father, but with my uncles and my colleagues and my grandfathers, it was something that was polar opposite, something that was wonderful, that was inspiring, and that was nurturing. Given said, "Hey, Professor, can you guys hear me? Because, like I said, I'm not on the actual.
Yes.
Okay. Now, a father himself, Gibbons is president and executive director of the Black American Dad Foundation, an organization aiming to countering biased perceptions of black fathers with firsthand accounts. Father's Day this year falls the day before Juneteenth, which commemorates the end of slavery in the United States, and fathers and mental health experts told CNN they are sharing the importance of fatherhood and their experience with and as black dads. Fathers are important for helping their children see all they can be, said Dr. Jennifer Noble, a licensed psychologist based in Los Angeles, saying both moms and dads changing a diaper, nurturing a child, and engaging in play helps boys and girls relate to both their parents, she said. Therefore, as a kid, I get to identify with both versions of it and figure out what fits me best, Noble said. What do we know about dads? A classic image of the traditional father figure shows him with outstretched arms trying to coax a fearful child on the edge of the pool into the water. The father is in the pool and says, "Okay, jump, jump, jump into the pool." And the kid is scared, Noble said. What they're doing is trusting, but then they're accessing bravery to jump into the water because they know fathers there to take care of them. Often good fathers can offer lessons in playfulness, care, support, courage, and discipline. Noble said, and data shows that black dads are doing so regularly. 70% of black fathers who live with their children were most likely to have bathe, dress, change, or help with their child with the toilet every day compared with white 60% or Hispanics 45% counterparts, according to the U.S. for Disease Control Prevention 2013 National Health Statistics Report. Those black fathers also most likely to have eaten a meal with their children. The data showed these numbers were high and not just for biological fathers living inside the home, said Dr. Turner, a licensed psychologist and associate professor of psychology at Pepperdine University in Malibu, California, via email. Professor, am I still good? Can you still hear me okay?
Yeah. You
Oh.
sound good, man. Keep going.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I know sometimes on these sites I lose the connection. It's also indicates that black fathers often step into the role of step parent or maintain consistent involvement when living outside the home. He added that this involvement is important for many reasons, one of which is that data shows that children were involved. Fathers are at lower risk for developing disruptive behavior and mental health difficulties, Turner said. When a biological father isn't present, the role can be filled by other men who care about the child, an important concept in African-American culture, Noble said. You can have perhaps multiple fathers or father figures and grandparents who can play a very strong role that is just as strong, if not stronger than the father, she said. You really do have uncles and grandparents and coaches and community members, pastors that can step in and really provide all the things like guidance and empathy and support. How the media portrayals get it wrong. If data shows black fathers are often involved in the daily care of their children, why is that story not being told? Often movies, TV shows, and news stories about black fathers come from secondary sources, not by black dads or those who have been raised by them, Gibbons said. As a result, the father of a black family can be portrayed as either absent or not a very good dad. Sometimes we miss some of the nuance and just think, oh, that's every black family everywhere, Noble said. Given the history of racism in the United States, some black fathers may face disproportionate incarceration rates or have difficulty in obtaining jobs to provide for their family, she added, but such hardships are only part of the story of black fatherhood. Maybe we need to change the evidence that's available to the really kind to get a more representative picture, Noble said. How to get this narrative right. For a narrative that better represents black fathers, we need to emphasize who is telling the story, Gibbons said. The Black American Dad Foundation and other groups are trying to put out stories from black fathers themselves, Gibbons said. He wants more primary sources for cultural understanding of black families. He also encourages dad to think about the behavior they are modeling for their children. I think it is important to show your children that you are human and that you make mistakes, and it's okay that you find ways to get through them, Gibbons said. Not only do you show them your success, but you show them your failures as well. And fathers shouldn't be afraid to show their vulnerable side to their children, Turner said. For boys, it really helps. It's really helpful to have male figures model healthy coping and emotional expression, he said. While mothers can also play an important role, I think it lands differently when boys see how their father is able to confidentially talk about emotions like sadness or anxiety, yet doing so isn't always easy. Gibbons recalls his own difficult 3 years ago when he told his son Cohen that he was moving out of state and wouldn't see him for weeks. This doesn't change anything the single dad remembers saying to his son. And then 5, who now lives in Arizona with his mom, I want to make sure you know that I love you and I always love you and will be with you. Givens can't forget his son's response. It's okay, Dad. You just have to try, he recalled the boy saying. So yeah, that narrative, that's something that we need to go ahead and change up ASAP in the actual Black community. So that article was on the site today, and it was a very good article. I read it. Read it to you guys. It's up in the Jumbotron. It was something, like I said, it needs to be put out there more. Shout out to my man Trenton, Makes Trenton. Thank you for your contribution on Cash App. I can definitely, as a person that was raised by their father, and having a father raise you, nobody's perfect. You're gonna see the ups and the downs. Now I saw that, but I could always say I did always feel, safe with having a father in the house. I always knew that he wanted the best for me. We may not have always agreed on everything. Like, you're not gonna have boys and their fathers not always agree on everything, but he definitely, I definitely felt the love. He was from a different generation, so the way they did things are different compared to a lot of us coming up. But I definitely felt the actual love and the care and everything else. So, let's be for real. When boys look at their fathers, especially when you're a young kid, you look at your father almost being a Superman as well too. You love your mother, you respect your mother, you care for your mother, but there's certain ways that you talk to your mother that you don't talk to your dad. I'm being real. You may get a little flippant with mom, but you kind of careful how you speak to dad, and you kind of careful how you speak to mom in front of dad as well too. So it's always good to have that father influence there. And I'm grateful for having a bunch of good uncles as well too, and some pretty good cousins and stuff in my life as well too. So I'm definitely we definitely need more men putting a positive spin out there, and you don't always get that with the media. So I felt like that was a very important thing. I was glad to see that article has been circulating. That CNN article has been circulating, and rarely do people like CNN and some of these other mega news outlets put this kind of stuff out there. But I'm glad that it is out there. Too often time, Black fathers just get absolutely dogged. It's not easy. We know it's not easy for the sisters out here, and it sure as hell not easy for fathers out here as well too. So I am, like I say, much respect to any man that's out there holding it down for their family, even if you're not with your wife or your ex-wife or your girlfriend or whatever. Still make sure that you play an important role in that child's life, even if you're not together with the child's mother. You still need to be there. And as we see quite a bit of it, and that's something else that gets twisted too with that little statistic that they love to throw out. Well, X amount of black men are not in the house, but yeah, he may not actually be living there, but that's not to say that he doesn't actually have that. He doesn't have custody of that child as well too. Could be a joint. They could have a joint of custody, or that child could, be with him all the time and stuff like that. We don't know that, but the way statistics can be spun, and they are spun like that. Of course, I would say anything. We all know that it's better to have an actual, for a family to be united, to have a mother and father in the same household. But unfortunately, sometimes that's not life, and it doesn't always play out that way. We're in a country that probably in the United States, we have as many divorces as any other country probably in the world. I'm sure we're high up there. So, shout out. Yesterday I had dinner with my two boys, teenagers and stuff like that. We went out to dinner and we had a really nice time, and spoke to my father today. He called me to wish me a happy Father's Day. I spoke to him, wish him a happy Father's Day. And it's just my sister called to wish me a happy Father's Day and tell me how proud she was and how proud our mother would be. And my aunt, she called. So it was just a great thing. It's just a great thing, man. When your family members reach out to you and tell you like, hey, we love you. We see what you're doing, and we respect it, and when you have other people, my brother-in-law, he called and me like, hey, much respect on what you're doing and how you play a role in your boys' lives. When you get that from family members that know exactly what you're doing, it makes you feel good that, hey, I'm not perfect and I've made a bunch of mistakes, and some of them I definitely wish I could take back, but hey, I'm going to go ahead and try and do what all I can do. I can sit here and I can say when my little one was in pre-K and he was crying every day and his teacher used to call me on the phone. I used to have to talk and calm him down. And occasionally I had to go out there and actually sit out there in the cafeteria and eat lunch with him or whatever. He's a big boy now. He doesn't remember all of that, but it was just one of those things and stuff. I can remember, being little league and the soccer and the flag football with him and all this other kind of stuff as well too, and just championing them, going to PTOs and everything, and just having that contact. It is so vital that a black man goes to these school functions and these people see you and they understand that, hey, yeah. He may have a mother, but he has a father there as well, too. It is vital, black man, that you go out there and you be involved in the academic side of your kids' development as well, too. So, yeah, we have to do everything socially and we have to do the athletics and all that as well, too. And that's great. But let them know also that, hey, I care about this. I care about what you guys are trying to do academically with my kids, how you're trying to label them, how you're trying to put them in the system certain ways and stuff like that. So yeah, it's very vital that we as black men go out there and we show support. And I've always done that, especially with my oldest one on the spectrum. I definitely, made it a mission that I'm definitely, with that one the most. The mother takes the youngest one, but the oldest one, he's mine. I have to let them know that, hey, I'm going to be there. Anything that you guys have, any kind of show, any kind of thing or whatever, any kind of function, I'm going to be there. Anything that we're talking about academically, how we're going to place him and put him in and do this and that with him or whatever, I want to know. I want to be hands-on. Make sure you call me. You have my number. Reach me anytime and I'll be there. So that's, as black men, that's how we got to go ahead and set it for this system, because we know exactly by what the media has put out there. They think that every black woman is just a single mama with a house full of kids and a bunch of damn different fathers, and the fathers are locked up in jail or on dope or nowhere to be found, and that they'll just go ahead and just push these kids and shove them any way, which way they can. And as a black man, you got to go ahead and let them know that that's not happening, and I'm here. So let me go ahead real quick and shout out. I see my girl Rira up in here and Nita too. So we got a couple sisters up in here as well too. So shout out to the sisters up in here as well too. Guys, DJ, Ray, Professor Charles, I said you came up here. Did you want to add anything real quick? Because we're going to talk about this Sukihana thing as well, too, and the Juneteenth, man. What?
I just happy Father's Day to everybody.
What's going on? Charles, you're a little bit low. You got your headsets on, headphones on.
I just wanted to talk about the Sukihana incident or whatever, because I feel the same way, like how she feels. So I'll speak once you get to that story.
Oh, well, Charles, you can go ahead and get on it. You can go ahead and speak on it right now, because we're gonna talk about it. You can go ahead and speak on it.
Shit, like, you know what I'm saying? If I'm at the gas station and a female come and grab my dick, excuse my language, you know what I'm saying? I'm calling the police. You know what I'm saying? Point blank period. You know what I'm saying? So I don't, I agree with the steps that she's taking. You know what I'm saying? Because she has a man, she has a husband. You know what I'm saying? And she's an entertainer more than any fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? So that dude, for doing that, that's some perverted type shit. He's a pervert for doing stuff like that. And we fathers who have daughters, we understand stuff like that. Like I would want my daughter to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just because the civil issue, but it's also about the legal issue. Like, let people know that just because like we look good, look it but don't touch. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I wanted to say about that.
All right, real talk, Charles, no problem. I saw that video and I didn't shout out to my man Nightfall on YouTube. I saw the video of the dude just coming up, but I didn't understand that. Like, I didn't understand why you would just come up and just start kissing on the woman. I didn't know if she was married or not.
And if you look at that video, look
said it a couple of different times. You know, she looked just scared. You know what I'm saying? Because like with the shit that's going on nowadays, people getting, you know what I'm saying, kidnapped and shit like that. You never know. Like, I mean, I don't know, but I'm probably taking it too far. You know what I'm saying? Because I've experienced that. But at the end of the day, you know, this shit was wrong and it should never happen on live TV. You know what I'm saying? Like, they should have talked about what the fuck was gonna happen before it even happened. And I know that went down. Like, they talked about what's gonna happen. And if you look at any of her videos, any of her prior videos, you know, nothing like this ever happens. You know, nobody never grabs her, you know, without her, you know, consent, or does anything to her without her consent. So this was just total trash. And that dude, he ain't nothing but garbage. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I didn't understand the way the dude just came up there and he started kissing her or whatever. I know Sukihana don't have the best reputation either, and that's not the excuse what this dude did or whatever. I saw the video. I don't, like I say, this YK Osiris, I don't listen to hip hop like I did at one point in time, so I couldn't tell you anything he sings or whatever. I didn't even know this dude like that until I actually saw that. So I didn't understand the point of just coming up and just basically sticking your tongue down a woman's throat that's sitting up there. And I would say this right here, man, that kind of behavior, you can't do that. Why would you do that? Why not go ahead and just sit, and why not? And I don't know why the people that was on stage like, hey man, go ahead and sit your ass down. Don't do nothing like that. So I got my man Nightfall on here. Let me read what Nightfall he's got on YouTube. He said, that's a lie. TBA did a full breakdown of her getting grabbed and groomed last night. Quit the simping. He also said, now fam, if he's so concerned for Suki's husband, then maybe she needs to represent him better in her thottish persona. Okay, I know Jason Black did a breakdown of that as well too, when he was talking about the I think he was talking black and white Karens or whatever, I believe he called her. So I didn't get a chance to check out that video or whatever, but I know also a video emerged where they said that Sukihana was, and I saw where she was, I think she was dancing on a young kid or whatever, and people found that inappropriate. And a lot of people were saying, well, hey, you know, not to excuse what happened with her, but, you know, I don't hear the outrage with her dancing on this teenage boy or whatever, and, you know, the same kind of outrage that, you know, that the guy actually came kissing her. And of course, we know it's different, but at the same time, people were like, you know, if that had been a man dancing on a girl like that, you know, grinding on a girl, a teenage girl, people would kind of be upset about that. They be feeling a certain way about that, and they're not feeling that way with Sukihana as well too. I also saw this clip earlier, I think it was yesterday, and it was and I don't know what the hell this was. It was a damn baby sitting down, and this woman had her butt all up in the baby face. Baby couldn't have been no more. I don't even know if this joker could walk. Like, he might have been a year old, got a pamper on, no shirt on, sitting down, and lady got her butt up and twerking in front of this little, you can't see her face. She just sitting up there twerking in front of this baby. I'm like, what in the world? Like, so a lot of people saying that, hey, there's a lot of videos popping up on Twitter where these women sitting up here popping it and twerking and clapping their ass in front of, like, you know, teenage boys and young boys. This was a damn baby here. And you're not seeing outrage. You're not seeing outrage that you would see if that was a man doing that. You're not, like, people's trying to say, hey, and they said in a tone like, are we seeing a double standard for this right here? So,
hey, but that video couldn't have came out at a better time though, too, because, you know, it's Father's Day too. Who's giving that? Damn, I forgot what I was about to say. That fucking fast. Shit. Hold on, I gotta come back. I forgot.
Okay, no problem. There was a picture a couple weeks ago, maybe about a month or so ago, where the game had a picture with his daughter, and she was really close to the game and this and that. And everybody said, well, that's inappropriate, that the girl she was too close to the game, and it didn't look right and this and that. So the game got a lot of he got a lot of pushback on social media because people were saying that his daughter was too close to him and it looked too intimate to them and this and that or whatever. It was a whole lot of pushback about that actual picture that the game had with his daughter. I believe she's about 12 or 13 or something like that. So, you know, a lot of people are saying that, hey, some of the pushback, it seems to be like one way with some of these pictures and some of these videos that we're seeing online as well too. Like I said, I saw the thing with Sukihana, and she was you know, she was twerking with the boy. she was dancing. And I haven't seen that video in a minute, but she was dancing with this kid or whatever. And people were like, well, that's inappropriate. I didn't know Sukihana was married, to be honest, either. So I didn't know she was married. The first time I seen her, she was on Love and Hip Hop. And
if you watch some of her videos on YouTube, her husband, he be at the places where she at. Like if somebody do like a what they call when they do like a backstage or something. Yeah, he's there, Yeah, he has her back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I say, I didn't.
So that's her views, but I feel like that man. Like, what if you at the doctor and your doctor do some shit like that? You gonna file a lawsuit? You gonna sue them? You gonna do something so that they can be held accountable for their actions? He's a man. That which is one of the things where you have to have self-control and emotional control. He don't have any. You know what I'm saying? And we talking about what he did. We're not talking about what she did.
Well, and I agree with you. I'm saying what the dude did. I mean, you can't just sit up there and just run up there and just start tonguing a woman, just tonguing her down or whatever. You have no relationship. Like, hey, that was crazy, and nobody. I don't hear anybody saying that what he did. From what I've seen now, I haven't seen anybody, in the media like condoning what he did or whatever. I know he, from what I heard, he apologized and she accepted the apology. I think her mother was really pissed off, and she said the apology was BS. But I believe Sukihana, she accepted the apology. So we're definitely not saying what he did was right. You can't just come up there and, like I say, you just can't come up there and sit up there and just put your mouth on somebody else's mouth. The person sitting there. It's one thing if that was your girlfriend or maybe or something like that, but it just come up there and he just started kissing. So nobody's definitely, Charles, nobody's definitely sitting up here saying that was right thing. And like I say, she did accept the apology. I don't foresee a lawsuit coming. You never know, but if she accepted the apology, I would think that she's moving forward with it or whatever, to the best of my knowledge. So, I don't know exactly what's going to happen. So definitely nobody's sitting up here saying that, hey, what he did was the right thing. Because nobody's going to sit up here and support that. That just came out of nowhere. That was crazy. And man, I don't know. Like, I don't know what this dude was on that day, to be honest. I don't know what was the point of that. I don't know why you did that. Hey, sometimes you just can't put a spin on things, man. I don't understand what that was about, what that was for. Like I said, hey, I don't know exactly what's going to happen from that. It seems like she's trying to move forward from that. I guess we just kind of got to wait and see on that. So, we definitely feel you on that part there. I have no idea why dude did what he did. I can't say it, but at the same time, like I said, I know she's not really getting a whole bunch of pushback also for the video with the actual kid that she was dancing with as well too. That was pretty suggestive, and had that been a man dancing suggestively like that with a girl, it would, and if that man had the name and stuff like that or whatever, it would spark a major outrage, and we're not seeing that as well too. So I think that's also another issue as well too, in terms of a lot of the way these things go and stuff like that. Let me go ahead and read something real quick, because Nightfall, he's putting some comments out there on YouTube. He said, and while yes, he was wrong, it was a kiss, not like he drugged her behind a trash bin and raped her. And I think he's making reference to the situation with Cardi B. He says, anybody want to talk about the men that Cardi B raped when she roofied them? That was something that also, with the Cardi B situation that went on some years ago. I know they say Cardi B apologized as well too, so nobody's talking about that. That he makes an interesting point. He makes an interesting point when you're talking about if you're talking about drugging people and things happening like that, and if a man goes in the midst of something like that, then that man is going to be ruined, just straight up. Nobody's going to sit up here and say, well, he apologized or whatever. That dude's going to be ruined. So, it is what it is. I want to get everybody's perception and thoughts as well too on the actual Juneteenth holiday as well too. I see my girl Mel is up in the space. Mel, shout out to you. I don't know if you guys. I know some of our people went up. I saw Black Majority State. He was up in DC. So shout out to him. I know Rella was supposed to be going to DC as well too, and she was supposed to be doing like a tour, some kind of tour guide type thing as well too. So I wonder how that thing went with Rella. If we get a chance, hopefully we might see Rella tonight. I'm not sure, but I know she did go out there. So be interesting to hear how that went with Rella as well too. So this space here, we just went ahead and decided to go ahead and put this space together. This is a Father's Day space, a Juneteenth space. We're talking about Sukihana. We're talking about the estate of the late great Tupac Shakur. Went ahead and decided to that was from a couple years ago. But Ray, shout out to Ray. Ray put it out there. The thing went viral. The state decided to go ahead and pretty much make a LGBTQ collection, a pride collection of Tupac's attire. And this is what happens when Black people don't control the narrative. You can sit up here, and Ray's been getting a lot of hate as well too. From he shared with us earlier, people been in his inbox talking about that he's homophobic and this and that or whatever. Homophobic is a way of really, really silencing people, calling people homophobic. Because Raiden, for one, he never said anything about doing anything violent towards the LGBTQ, anything like that. He wasn't preaching hate or anything towards the LGBTQ like that. He simply said, and I'll say it, on the song Changes, and we read the article, it's talking about poverty, the war on crime, police brutality. It's not talking about LGBTQ agendas. So to go ahead and put Tupac's name and tie it into that, and then go ahead and get upset when some of his fans and some of the people that listen to him, they make mention of that, I think is really unfair. It definitely shows you how a small group of people who are probably about 5% of the population can sit up here and really control things like that. They have more power than so many other groups that outnumber them 4-5 times. So that I found that really, really fascinating. So like I say, shout out to my man Ray. DJ Professor, y'all want to go ahead and say something on the Father's Day, Juneteenth, Sukihana, Tupac, anything?
You want to go first, DJ?
Yeah, it don't matter. Let's say happy Father's Day to everybody. And obviously Juneteenth is tomorrow, so happy you know what I mean, Emancipation Day to all of us here. So let's see, Tupac, just to get that out the way, you know, shout out to our brother Tupac, you know, Brick City homie all day and shit. You already saw that what he said right there, right? He ain't gonna prove that. And I told your brother and hit him in the DM boy, you know, maybe he can come up and hopefully say some words up here, but he all the way across seas, I know that, so he might not get the time. But hopefully he'll hit you later. But what you call it, the pride clothes thing, ain't nobody supporting that. You already see what happened to Budweiser, Target, y'all going under, y'all going into the shadow realm. You know, this what the white folks is the new woke now. Even though we was saying that word first, you know, stay woke, fam. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Stay woke and shit. You know what it is. So they going under. Nobody care about that. But it's just sad, like you said, Tyler, that we don't control our own stuff. And, you know, when we have these businesses or these type of, creative platforms that we own and create these things, we wind up not being the owners of it, and then got to share it with the rest of the world and all this other stuff. Nah, that Tupac, that need to wind up back in black hands. That's why, you know, we ain't too upset if somebody like a Tyler Perry, whoever, you know, want to get BET. These will wind up back in our hands, but you still got to worry about even Tyler Perry, rainbowing it up. You know what I'm saying? Keep it real with the man. Hey, D, how you doing? How you doing? Know what I mean? So it's like stuff like that we got to worry about within our own community too as well. Because it seems like, you know, black folks are the happy-go-lucky jokers of being the Rainbow Club. We at every forefront of the Rainbow Club stuff when you look at this stuff. You know, it's a black person at the helm of this shit. So it's like, hey, I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? So I guess, you know, it is what it is. Bless up to Tupac, you know what I mean? Because he wasn't talking about no damn Rainbow Club pride in none of his music. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I think he would have probably spit on one of y'all. Keep it real. You know what I'm saying? no lie on that shit. You know what I mean? But Sukihana, Kevin Sanders is right. And go ahead to the Professor. And yeah, none of y'all ladies said anything when she was twerking on that little boy too. Imagine if a grown ass nigga was twerking on some little ass girl, y'all would have killed that nigga, you know what I'm saying? And buried him under the jail, you know what I mean?
There you go, DJ. Everything you said, bro, was 100 on the money. And I have to back you up on that because just to get this Sukihana out the way, nobody said anything about her, like you said, DJ, when she was twerking on this little boy.
Thing too. I don't care if she's safe either. You're safe 304 now. That's all it is.
Hey, one thing I'm gonna say to all you men though, for any man, despite how the woman may be, no man should just go up to a woman and just grab her or kiss on her without her permission. Now I'm gonna make that known right now, here and now, that no man should ever go up to a woman and just touch on her, grab her, or assault her, or do any of these things to her without her permission. If that woman don't want you on her, kissing her, or whatever, or grabbing her by the pussy, excuse my French, you should not do it unless the woman is. Okay? Now, I'm making that known to every man in space because I'm a man that stands on that. Now, with that being said, men, you got to also stay away from cum dumpsters, and if they hoes, stay away from them. They the type of women that could get you caught up. Stay away from them. There you go. And that's what I'm going to say about Sukihana. So shout out to you, Sukihana, you're a cum dumpster. But anyway, now, with that being said, Tupac would be spitting on all you transformers, excuse my French, transformers and whatever else y'all want to call y'all, he and she and they he, her he, get he, she he did he, we did he, all these damn pronouns y'all throwing out here to each other, and this rainbow flag y'all want to throw out here and mix it in with our stuff. Hey, Tupac be spitting on you, just like you saw him in that video back in the day when he was spitting at them folks that were getting in his face then. So he'd be spitting on you right now, and I'll be right there to help him, cause Brother Pop was all about his people. He was all about black civil rights issues. If you listen to any of his songs, that's mostly what he talked about. You didn't hear him talk about no gay pride shit. No, that was not Pop. Pop spoke about political issues, black civil rights issues, police corruption, racism. He talked about all of the things that we're dealing with to this very day. And what made Pop the best rapper in the game, y'all, he was already talking about stuff that we didn't even know about. He was a prophet in the game. That's why he's called the best rapper of all time. But he could rap, of course, but he had a way of saying things in a song. You'd be like, damn, how did Pop know this? The brother had something about him that was just powerful. And I'm telling you, Black family, if he had lived, and I have said this in one of Newstoter's previous spaces, this brother was going to be the next black leader. And y'all do understand this is why he was assassinated. He was taken out because he was the guy that they feared, like Brother Malcolm X, because that's what time Pop was on. And this gay shit is an insult. This is an insult, very much so. So let me say this, with Juneteenth, shout out to the family. This is our day. This does not belong to anybody else. This is ours. Juneteenth is ours. Ours only. That flag that you've been seeing all over the spaces, the red, white, and blue, is ours. Not that other flag that I've been seeing in some of the other spaces, the black, red, and green, black, blue bullshit. Okay, that belongs to you folks in the Caribbean. You take that flag and you celebrate your shit over there. Okay? Now, our flag is the one that you seeing Miss Giselle has made and has put out everywhere. That's right. Miss Giselle, shout out to you. Shout out to that sister because she made a lot of those flags. And so much love to her. Shout out to her. Shout out to Rilla. Shout out to Black Majorities. Shout out to my sister, Mayor Cruz right there. Shout out to my brother Ray, to everybody up in this space, the Black American family, Newstoter family. Good, much love. I want to hear what everybody has to say tonight on all these topics, okay? I'm going to land right there.
And
brother Buko, good to see you. I see you right there. You snuck up in here, brother Buko.
Yeah, I see my brother Muko up in here as well too. So if he get a chance, I'm sure he'll get and for those that's coming up in this space, happy Father's Day to you guys as well too. And my man Knight, he wanted to know exactly because I don't think he caught the actual space from the beginning. He's on YouTube. He wanted to know what exactly was going on with Tupac for those that came up 2 years ago. And Ray put this, and I know some of y'all saw it. Ray put the tweet out about the and it's up in the Jumbotron that his estate, of course, his estate is no longer owned by Black people. We know that his mother, the late great Afeni Shakur, she died. So basically, white folks own his estate, and they decided to go ahead and make a Tupac. And this was 2 years ago, but Ray put it out, and the thing generated millions of views. But they decided to go ahead and make a Tupac Pride collection. I can't say it's an honor of him because, you know, like I say, Tupac, I think would have had an issue with that. I know it's kind of hard to look at Tupac then and now because we know that the world is so politically correct. And I sometimes wonder how Tupac would fit in with today's time because everything in terms of what rappers said back in the 90s, you can't say it today. So I'll say, I don't know about Tupac. I know DJ and Professor, I don't think he would be spitting at people because, you know, just the way the actual climate is in today, but I think he would have a real issue with the song changes that they took, and they went ahead and, you know, changes one of those songs that came out after his death, but it still talked about the issues that Tupac normally always focused on, which was, you know, police brutality, racism, and things of that nature. And now you're adding an LGBT moment to it, which it had nothing to do. Ray went ahead, and Ray's been getting a lot of hate for putting it out there. A lot of people DMing him, trying to accuse him of being a homophobic and this and that or whatever, but simply because he, you know, he put it out there and he said, hey, you know, this is not right. And it's not right because Tupac never talked about that. You're taking, and not only that, the proceeds, you're using Tupac's name. And that's not the only thing that we have an issue with. You're not only using Tupac's name, but the proceeds of his likeness that you're going to garner money with. Then you went ahead and you know what I said. You took this and you divided up between two groups, an LGBT group and a Sidney Lauper group as well, to another you know, LGBT group. You're not taking any of that money, giving it to any Black people. When this man was about Black people and their struggles, you're not taking any of that money, giving it to any Black people. And I will even further say this right here: the LGBT people that you're giving that money to, I guarantee you, only a fraction of it is actually going to Black LGBTQ kids. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you only a fraction of that money is actually. So you're going to use Tupac's likeness, have these nonprofits, take the money and funnel it to white people and sit up here and talk about what Tupac was for and this and that or whatever. See, this is the way Black people have been getting pimped for years. This is the way Black people have been getting pimped for years. You're going to use this man's likeness. This man's been dead almost 30 years. Coming up to coming up in September this year, it'll be 27 years that Tupac was murdered in Las Vegas. You're going to use his likeness. You're going to go ahead and you're going to give it to two groups. None of these groups have anything to do with Black people, and have have absolutely no problem with that. And then when the Black person says something about it, then you're going to make the Black person the enemy. You're going to go ahead and hide behind this special protected class status that you can get, but that Black people can't get. A special protected class status that you can get solely based off of what Black people in this country went through. Because of the civil rights movement, you got a special protected class that Black people themselves, that the actual civil rights movement was about, are not afforded. And nobody has an issue with that. And if Black people say something, then you go ahead and then you'll make a Black person, by calling somebody homophobic. That's a sexual way of calling them a racist. Because you're saying, well, you can't say you're racist because we're talking about your sexuality, so we'll say you're homophobic. So that's a way of shutting Black people up. So that's an issue right there. That's a major issue. You're taking it now. You could have went ahead. You could have took some of that money and gave it to any kind of Black cause in this country, and you're not doing that. You taking it and you're giving it. Sidney Lauper was a star in the 80s. Okay, you're taking money, giving it to Sidney Lauper's Charity. What the hell are you talking about? Cyndi Lauper could have had her own merchandise coming out supporting her group. What are you talking about here? That makes absolutely no sense. 0 sense.
Hold on, Toto. I gotta ask you a question, but I didn't mean to cut you off. But damn, man, I thought Cyndi Lauper was dead, man.
Thought she was dead, cuz. Come on. No, man, Cyndi Lauper ain't dead. Hell no. Like the article was from 2 years ago, but nah, man, Cyndi Lauper was dead. Trust me, you knew about it. Like Cyndi Lauper was a star back in the day in the 80s. So, but it's crazy. This is you can't even put this kind of stuff into words here. You can actually do this and get away with this. And then it's not like I said, and this is what people have a problem with the people in hip hop, because the hip hop community's been neutered, to the point that they have totally, these are supposed to be the most badass people in all the music. They have totally taken these boys' balls right here. They totally tell y'all what you can talk about and what you can stand up for. You can't say anything because everybody knows that Tupac would have been like, hell no. Nah. And if you say hell no, the people, and black people have no counter to this. They sitting up here and they go, well, I don't want to be labeled a homophobic. So you got to sit there and take it. Like, so no. But no, Professor Cyndi Lauper, she ain't dead unless I ain't trying to wish death on her, but no, Cyndi Lauper, she's alive. I hadn't seen Cyndi Lauper in a long time, but yeah, she's around.
Like, man, damn, dude, because I ain't heard nothing from her since she put that song out, Your True Colors or something like that. Ain't shit, man. That's been like late 80s.
But shit, she made enough money in the 80s. She probably ain't got to work no more. So hey, Cyndi Lauper probably make money just touring and whatnot. So hey, she ain't hurting for no money because she was a huge star in the 80s. But yeah, man, this is what we're talking about tonight, man. And once again, a happy Juneteenth as well too. We said happy Father's Day. Juneteenth is tomorrow. So definitely, and I want to know, like, we've been seeing a lot, and we've had that war online, man, because people keep talking about those colors. They keep talking about those colors, the green and black, and a lot of people are upset. We see Charles with the actual colors of what Juneteenth should look like. So, it's been a back and forth with these colors, man. Damn, we almost I'm not trying to say that we like the Los Angeles gangs around here, whatnot, but damn, we getting to the point where the Juneteenth, man, has been broken down into colors. Go ahead, DJ.
No, I was going to say the same exact thing about recently what happened with Aretha Franklin in the song. What was the woman song she made? I can't think right now. My mind's somewhere else and shit.
Oh yeah, the damn, what's it?
Natural Woman.
Yeah.
So, they was upset about that. The trans jokers talk about, oh, well, what's the natural woman? Well, you know damn well what's the natural woman. So that's why I was saying Tupac probably would smack spit even today. Keep it real, because ain't nobody playing that shit. You talking about, support any type of homophobia or whatever. I don't get down like that. Tupac wasn't a faggot. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I know how this joke, not to say I knew Tupac, but I understand how this shit was back in the day. You know what I mean? These jokers used to get chased down the street, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like just be logical. Kicked out the club, all that shit, you know what I mean? And not to say that it was even black people doing that shit. It was really white folks. You see what I'm saying? But we know Tupac, a wild, crazy dude. If he was going crazy over the African knack of bootlegging his shit on up there in Harlem, imagine what he'd do and find out these jokers trying to throw my name in the Pride Month flag. He gonna go crazy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the only thing I say about that is that, like I say, it is a different time too, because you hear a bunch of rappers because they apologizing for some of those lyrics they had back in the 90s and stuff like that, lyrics that they consider homophobic today. You get rappers and stuff apologizing. Oh, well, that was just a time and era that we live in and this and that. For one, Tupac definitely would say, well, I don't. He would have just told him straight up, like, yo, this is not what this is about or whatever, this and that. But I think that even Tupac in the day's time would have had to be careful how he worded certain things as well too, because basically it's a cancer culture, and I know as well as his mouth, he had a mouth on him and this and that as well too. But Tupac today would have had to had to watch exactly what he said, because I'm saying even the rappers from back in the day that would go in and say stuff like that, they have been sitting up here and they have kind of sidestepped and they've kind of apologized and everything else for the lyrics that they had back in the 80s and the 90s and this and that or whatever, because they just that time that it's a different time, that you're not going to sit up here and music and call, because let's be for real, and back in rap, back in the 90s and stuff, it was a lot of F-bombs and this and that or whatever. People talked about sexuality. They said all kind of stuff like that. Stuff that wouldn't nowadays, the way that the way the music world is, the way that the actual entertainment is, the way things are heavily censored in terms of certain groups. Now, you can still drop N-bombs all day. You can call the women a bitch or a hoe. You can say nigga this, nigga that. You can say anything like that. But once you start talking about a specific group and their sexuality, then yeah, you can't really go in that. So we gotta be honest about it. Like, yeah, because I even saw on one of those shows too where Tretch was on there, and I think Tretch's daughter was supposed to be engaged to this dude. They came out and told the dude was bisexual level. You know, Tretch straight up told the dude, like, yo, I ain't got no problems with you. Like, nobody else better have no problems with you, whatever. That's Tretch this is Tretch in the 2000s and 20s or whatever. This is not Tretch from like 1993, 1994. I'm sure that Tretch would have had a difference of opinion back then. But things are different.
That Tretch was with Pop. You know, him
yeah.
Really good friends. Yeah.
So that Tretch, man, I'm just saying, like Snoop, them, a lot of them used to drop the F-bombs, and Snoop used to say, yeah, I let my jeans sag, but I ain't gonna say the F word. And everybody be careful, because I just got off suspension saying the F word up in here too as well. Because like I say, certain groups are protected over other groups. Let's just be for real. But go ahead, DJ.
It was something else I was gonna say that surrounding that, but yeah, don't ever apologize for being yourself. There you go. You know what I'm saying? But it was something else that just recently happened that's somewhat surrounding this same topic. And I guess I gotta come back to it. But like I said, yeah, don't ever apologize for being yourself. And as far as like jokers apologizing for old lyrics, hey, Joker said what they said. Matter of fact, we pulling up some old school LL lyrics. He could have been the first R. Kelly. To be honest with you, certain stuff LL Cool J was saying back in the day. So it's like, damn. Oh, matter of fact, that's what it was. Music is contextual. So you got jokers getting locked up for their lyrics nowadays, but how do you know they're not just contextualized? You see what I'm saying? When somebody say the F word, you know what I mean? Got my fingers up. That ain't like a really a slur in that way, because you go over to Europe and say, hey, let me get a fag. That means a cigarette. You see what I'm saying? So it's a play on words and shit. And then who made that up? Well, Sister Just Eve, when we was talking about the picnic, and Isla was saying, no matter how we try to add this stuff up and just keep it within our culture, we always got to turn back and go back to the white supremacists. You know what I'm saying? Because they started all this stuff. We didn't make these words up. We didn't make these hateful words up or none of this other stuff. That's not our stuff. And then why would we allow you or this group of people, rather, you know what I'm saying, the LGBTQ Rainbow Club cancel culture, to utilize my stuff as a prop to prop them up when I don't even approve of that type of lifestyle. So Pac would have went crazy, bro, today or yesterday. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead, Moko.
Yeah. What up to everybody in the space? This definitely hit home for me. Y'all do. I know I do Pac. When I was a teenager, I posted at a Jumbotron, a real close friend of mine, Darren Batchfield, who went to school with Pac. Him and Pac actually had a group together. That was the first rap group. And that painting that you see there, that Darren Fiscal, is a Shakespeare portrait of Tupac. And inside that painting, which I helped construct, is the first recording of Tupac. He just sold that. He had the rights to it, and Newstoter was right. Newstoter was right. White people owned the state. White people were definitely trying to buy this first recording that Darren has in that painting picture in the Jumbotron. They have tried to LGBT wash our icons like Malcolm X, Tupac, and many others that, I'm not going to name. I don't want to get off topic, but this is, just like DJ said, this is something that white supremacists do. And unfortunately, when you don't have your legacy properly intact, don't have anybody to protect your legacy. And that's what's happening with Pac right now. Pac family has died off. The last kind of not even real family that he has is Dr. Matula Shakur, who was not his biological father, but his stepfather. And unfortunately, Dr. Matula Shakur is in bad financial health as well right now. So I just want to put out there, everybody get a chance, might go to drmatulaShakur.com, his page, contribute to his GoFundMe because he's not in good health right now. But he's definitely an asset to our community. He was the first doctor to put, he was the first black doctor in the California area and all that to exercise acupuncture and get people off of drugs permanently using acupuncture. Of course, they wanted to lock this man up. You know what I'm saying? Because if they didn't lock him up, the crack epidemic wouldn't have been as easy for them to execute as it was on us. So this thing about Pac and pride, I definitely feel like it's a character assassination. Like Toda and Professor said, if Pac was alive, he definitely would be president right now. And that's just all I can say on that. Just don't believe anything that you see. Don't support it. Don't buy it. Don't participate in it. Anything you see with Pac and pride, just turn that shit away. That's not Pac. Pac did not stand for that shit. He did not fuck with sexual confusion. I'm gonna repeat that, and I'm not gonna say for the state's sake. I'm gonna say because I personally knew this brother when he was alive. He did not mess with sexual confusion. You know what I'm saying? Now, yeah, he was on his rant when he disrespected women and stuff like that, but even in his last days, Pac changed. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't change supporting no sexual confusion. He never supported sexual confusion. He's never been about that shit. He's always been about empowering the black family and giving much respect to black women, black womanhood. You know what I'm saying? That Dear Mama and all those songs, Brenda Had a Baby, wasn't no rapping about black women getting abused and raped. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that because he wasn't saying, even though in this video it was a depiction of the man that was raping her being her father, we still can't let the instigators of all this shit go. It's like DJ was saying. You know what I'm saying? Even all of the foul backwards language that we get from the white supremacists. We get all that bad meaning bad, but bad meaning good. We get that shit from the white supremacists to confuse us, to keep us confused. Even when we talking and
Eminem made a song. Don't forget, Eminem made that song, Good versus Evil. You know what I'm saying? Right. He was talking about the same shit.
Right, the same exact shit. And this is white supremacy, and this is what they do best. They confuse topics, they confuse everything, and then they feed it back to us. But the one thing that they keep us confused on is this sexual confusion. You know what I'm saying? The more people condone it, the more people say that, well, long as it ain't messing with me, I don't care what you do in the bedroom. No, I care. You know what I'm saying? I care. And I ain't being no, and I excuse my foul language, but it's really not foul. I'm not being a penis watcher or a vagina watcher. I just don't want that influence on my children, and I don't want it on my society, period. You feel what I'm saying? So I think we need to stand 20 toes down on no sexual confusion. You know what I'm saying? If we're about reparations and repair, we have to repair that sexual confusion. We can't condone that shit. Nobody's born like that. This is a chemical imbalance that is induced. Okay? I want to get that through to y'all, family. This ain't nobody born that way. I don't care what nobody say. I ain't never seen no sexual confused baby without somebody confusing the baby. You know what I'm saying? And that's real talk. That's a taught behavior. So, just so I won't get off topic, happy Father's Day to all the fathers in here. Juneteenth, definitely, we gotta start, stop letting the culture vultures come in and take our don't even like saying culture, but you know, taking our traditions and remix. You know what I'm saying? Calling them what they call it, and then we gonna call it the same thing that they call it after. We just gotta stay 10 toes down on gatekeeping our traditions. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to gatekeep this culture. This culture, just like I said it again, I'll say it plenty other times. Only culture that black, non-white black people have right now today in society, even including Brother Muko that's not outside this, is a culture of reacting to racism, white supremacy. I don't feel like that's any of our natural culture. And I also feel like we have a greater culture that we haven't even tapped into because racism, white supremacy has been interfering in every area of people activity. So we can't even shine the way that we would normally shine, you know what I'm saying, without white supremacy because we have never seen that. You know what I'm saying? We might have heard tales of it, but we've never seen it, not with our own eyes. You know what I'm saying? But I do trust that we will. All of us in this space, us, we will get the system of justice in place and maintain that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because the white supremacists can't do it, the Chinaman can't do it, the Jews can't do it. It's all going to be left up to the black man and the black woman to do this shit. If we on point, if we going to get this shit done. So I just want to say from Sukihana, I don't really know what that is, so I'll just listen and comment on that basis.
Sukihana.
Okay.
Yeah, aka Calm Dust. That's her name. Aka Calm Dust.
Okay, well, you know, I
Hey, Professor, you don't talk to the women like that.
That sound like a real corporate court scene like that. But yeah, you know, just you know, yeah, real fans, don't feed into that Tupac pride shit. That's just to damage my brother's culture. He was a real revolutionary, and he was not about no sexual confusion on no level. He had relatives like that, just like we all do, but he did not condone that shit, just like I know, and many of us know. So I'll land in till later on. Thanks for letting me speak. So,
All right, brother Muku. Let me go ahead and get to Carlos. Carlos, how you doing tonight?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Peace to the room. Thanks for letting me speak. Newstoter and co-host. What's going on? Happy Father's Day and happy Juneteenth to everybody. I just wanted to kind of piggyback on the when you were talking about the '90s lyrics. The ones that are in my age group, I'm quite sure there's quite a few of you in here. You might remember, and this pride thing is nothing new. It actually kind of started there. You might remember that group Brand New. They had a song called "Punks Jump Up to Get Beat Down."
Give nothing but a beat.
Exactly. And in that song, they had a lyric. It was one of the verses in there that said, "Got whipped like a F word in the clean." They pulled that song off the shelf, and that whole album, they pulled it off and made them change it to "Got whipped like a sissy in the clean." And so that was where it all started right there. We just didn't understand or know what the agenda was at that time. And if we pay close attention, they're doing the same things that those small hats do, where you can't talk about them. They're you can't talk about them, or you get that label like I think it was Brother Ray that was saying earlier. You get labeled and with homophobic. Just homophobic and anti-Semitic is hand in hand right now, and we just have to pay close attention to who we're speaking around. I'm not saying bite your tongue or anything like that, but I'm saying as far as like letting them in our spaces and things like that. Like Professor was in the room in Miss Giselle's room earlier, where we spoke about how they like to center themselves, and we just need to okay, you want to be a protected class, be by yourself. We have nothing to do with you, and I'll land there.
All right. Thank you.
Damn, dude. Damn, Carlo, you spoke that right there. Here come one of them up in the space, man. Damn.
Yeah, appreciate that, Carlos. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Shout out to everybody up in the room tonight as well, too. On this Father's Day, this Father's Day, as well as tomorrow, we're celebrating, of course, Juneteenth. We know everybody throughout the week was celebrating, depending on what state you in. You may even have the day off from work tomorrow. It's still, even though it's a federal holiday, it's not a state holiday in most states and stuff. So here in Florida, it's not a state holiday. I don't expect it to be a state holiday anytime soon in the state of Florida, as long as Ron DeSantis is the governor, and as long as we have the amount of rednecks we have in the actual state politics here in Florida. It may be another 10, 15, 20 years before it's actually a state holiday here in the great state of Florida. So if you do have that in your state, definitely take time to spend it with the family, kids, go out, do something. That'll be a great thing. If you just need to relax, you might be tired from working. Hey, go ahead and do that too. Sleep in, do what you got to do or whatever. But yeah, even though it's a federal holiday, it's still not a state holiday in most days. And we've also been talking about of late. You've had this back and forth with a lot of people, and we had a space about the can Pan Africans also claim Juneteenth? We've seen a lot of the actual Pan African colors associated with Juneteenth as well too. So we definitely want to get people's thoughts on Juneteenth as it is fast approaching. It'll be here tomorrow. We know in most places Saturday, even today Sunday, you had a lot of events and stuff like that. So if you had a certain event up in your city, your state, your county, whatever, and you want to come up here and speak about it and share it with us, please feel free to come on up here and talk about the Juneteenth events that's taking place as well too. A couple of our people, we know Rella and Black Majority State was up there in DC. I saw Black Majority State posting some pictures online yesterday as well too. So shout out to them. Even though the Juneteenth reparation rally didn't go down, they still went to DC and they still went up there and partook of some of the actual ceremonies and things that was going on. So I want to get your opinion on Juneteenth as well too, guys. It's becoming bigger, bigger, and bigger. Of course, in certain places they've been doing Juneteenth for the longest, but I really didn't hear about Juneteenth that actually became grown. So definitely for those that want to talk about Juneteenth tonight, I definitely want to hear your thoughts on it as well too. And what you think about it as well too. So definitely come on up here and speak on it. Anybody and anything you want to speak on, guys, come on up here and talk. The mic is open. We got a bunch of topics that we're covering, so feel free to go up here and request a microphone and come up here and speak. Go ahead, DJ.
Yeah, so go back to the Tupac thing and just keep it around music for a hot second. So, and just to switch it up, slide left for a little bit. So over here on Twitter, right, Elon is getting sued by these record companies right now. $250 million. They don't want to pay. Twitter don't want to pay the licensing fee. So, but when you go look at these corporations like Sony Music, Apple Music, Spotify, Warner Music, Universal, they're making billions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? While me, the musician, remains stagnant and locked out of the machine. You see what I'm saying? So Tupac went through the same thing and shit. You know what I mean? They allow him to have an opinion as far as doing music and making an album, but they not really trying to help him sell records. You know what I'm saying? Remember, it was only after Tupac's death when he really got famous. You know what I'm saying? He was famous, yes. You know what I mean? But we talking about like international status, super status, and even as many years as he's been going down later, he's still a top rapper, bro. Still a top rapper, yeah. You know what I mean? So, it's big up to our brother Tupac. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to Gaddafi. Rest in peace to Fatal. You know what I'm saying? Those are outlaw brothers and shit. You know what I'm saying? They gone now and shit. You know what I mean? And big ups to those outlaws like Mutab, who's still here and shit. And talking about this shit. So you just, like I said, getting the jumbotron where Ray posters at, Mutar right there talking about this shit. Hey, Pop wasn't approved of none of this shit, you know what I mean? But it is what it is with that. And like I said, on the Juneteenth thing, getting the purple chat right here, I just posted a bunch of stuff for y'all. And I hope everybody enjoyed their Father's Day. And, I'm going to leave the Sukihana thing alone. Big Captain Sandwich is right.
All right.
Hey, Muta, I think was the last of the Outlaws too, family. He's the last of that group. It was what, 6 of them? Was it 6 of them, DJ?
Yeah. Is Big Syke still alive? I'm not even sure.
Big Syke's dead too.
No, he's dead. He's dead.
Yeah, all those guys dead from like when Pop was with Thug Life, and the guys from Outlaws. All those guys are dead. Except Muta.
Actually, you know, his brother, Mo Cream, is still alive. Mo Cream was actually part of Thug Life. And there's a couple members that, and a couple cats that were really close to him. You know what I'm saying? Like his god brother, Dana. We call him Mouse Man. But you look on the album cover strictly for my nigga, the second album. And he has a picture with him and 2 other cats with him. One of them is Mo Cream, his brother, and the other one is his god brother, Dana. That's who I went to school with. That's how I met him. And he, you know, the family, he just, you know, they made sure they choked them off, bro. You know what I'm saying? With Gaddafi, or because Pac was letting them know. You know what I'm saying? He was letting them know Pac was definitely going to do big things. The professor said it. They assassinated that brother because they knew how many people he influenced. Not just influenced, but Pac can go out and say, look, don't do this, don't do that. And niggas will listen. Like, they had to kill him. That's how they looked at it. And I'm just
He's the new Malcolm X brother. That's what I'm telling you, family. He was that new Malcolm X, 2.0 or 3.0.
big fact. So, I mean, you know, anytime, you know, they do that, they think that we're not going to continue to plan. You know what I'm saying? And that's where they kind of, they thought that after they killed Pac, after they killed Big, actually Biggie was getting that status too. You know what I'm saying? But Biggie, I keep calling Biggie, I ain't mean to call Biggie out. But Biggie, you know, his wasn't as political as Pac. Pac was like the leader of the new Black Panther party. Yo was the president of that. You know what I'm saying? Before Pac made that album, Apocalypse Now, bro, they were trying. Pac was he was on a very thin line. You know what I'm saying? It was a chance that he wasn't even going to do music. He was just going to go straight political. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, people don't really know how close that it wasn't even how close it was not even being a Tupac Shakur. You feel what I'm saying? Like Pac was really, man. What society shows us about Pac is the tip of the iceberg, bro. Yo was such an influential and smart. He wasn't a dumbass nigga, bro. He was smart as fuck. Excuse my friend. It's recorded speak. He was smart and intelligent as I don't know what. That brother was so intelligent that the only way they could knock him down is by getting people to lie on him. Like they got that young lady to lie and said he raped her, which later on she came out and said she lied about it. You know what I'm saying? Like all those things, they have to get out leaders with some of our own collaborators. And they do this because they starve us out so much. So anybody will do anything for a piece of bread or a quarter. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they kill us. That's how we get killed. And I hate to say it, but that just comes from us not being honest. You know what I'm saying? Keep saying we not victims. Keep saying that now black people, we're great. We kings and queens. The more you lie, the more dangerous the situation gets for today and for the future of our children. You know what I'm saying? Because if you paint a line in their head, what they gonna strive to do? If they already thought that they was kings and queens and our parents telling us, oh yeah, we came from kings and queens, they're not gonna strive to be that. Because they're gonna look at it like, oh, he's already that. You feel what I'm saying? So I think the more and more we're honest about stuff like this, and I appreciate this space so much, Coda. Thank you so much for even bringing this out. Because a lot of people not even talking about this. They're sweeping under the rug, not even noticing that their children are looking at this. So when we talk about Pac in such a revolutionary way, they gonna be looking at this shit like, well, he was a faggy. How he got the pride shit? He got the shit with non-sex. even though he ain't alive, but they got the Tupac vibe and they got the Nas X vibe. I thought they was the same. You know what I'm saying? And this again, us not passing down the correct information to our youth. We're not thinking it's important. We're thinking our youth for something different. So I mean, think about all the parents that don't even communicate with their children to tell them that they was even listening to pop or you know what I'm saying? Like that's why I tell my children everything. You know what I'm saying? Try not to get mad at them when they go in there, those 16 to 18-year-old shit. But I try to remember when I was 16 and 15 and the dumb shit I was doing. You know what I'm saying? And explain that to them so that they can feel like, oh damn, my father is my father. He did this shit too. So then, all right, maybe I shouldn't do this if he's telling me he did it and it was dumb. You know what I'm saying? Versus pointing at him like this generation is crazy. They something else. Like I'm listening to some of people talk about their children. Like, do y'all realize that these same motherfuckers y'all talk about came from y'all? Like they came from you.
Hey Moco, did you see that post with the little sucker MC stuck the gun in grandma's face down there? I think it's in Memphis. Did you read it in the comments from some of these folks about what they were saying the exact same thing? Like that. Did you not understand that could be your son or your kid or whatever the case be?
Right, bro. And I think a lot of us have passed that because of that me and mine type of bullshit mindset. Well, it's me and mine. Mine ain't acting that way. I wish my child would. No, bro. If it's a black child, you should look at that child like your child. Like, damn, yo, he did that. You should take offense to that. Because when I seen that shit, I'm like, yo, if I was in this vicinity, yo, I would have smacked the shit out of his ass, yo. Like, what the fuck is you doing? I would have pulled your man, I would have wringed his neck out. Somebody would have looked at me from afar like, damn, that man beat the fuck out of his son. That's how we need to get on. I'm not talking about violence, but I'm talking about as far as passing down this knowledge. This knowledge ain't just telling them about history, but it's also teaching your children about manners, about the importance of saying, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, to your elders. You feel what I'm saying? The importance of that shit. A lot of people think that shit came from some slave shit. Yo, I'm 48 years old. I just seen my mother, my father today. My mother, man, yes, ma'am. Every time my mother called, who go? Yes, ma'am. My father called, who go, sir? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't understand, like, where, a dog will wag its tail. You feel what I'm saying? For the people that don't know, that might be a little young, that don't know what that statement means, you don't even have to say hi to a dog. Most of the time, a dog will come up to you, wagging his tail, trying to smell your ass. You feel me? And that goes for the motherfucking people that, or the women that can't speak when a man's speaking to them, or another man that can't just talk their problems out to another brother without balling up your fist and trying to fight like a goddamn, you know what I'm saying, caveman, like you don't know what words are. You know what I'm saying? Like this really makes it ties into the cum dumpster. You know what I'm saying? And the cum dumpster behavior. You know what I'm saying? And you know, when your women and your little girls looking at you acting like a dummy, they gonna follow suit. And they gonna be bigger dummies than you. So yeah, yeah, the thing about DJ definitely brought up a good point, and I brought this up last night in the liquor store. Y'all, what they try to do with this music, they try to turn the whole music game over to AI. So now you're gonna have artificial intelligence making songs, making music, and guess what? Ain't nobody gonna be creating shit because AI gonna be creating shit. And then guess what? AI gonna own the fucking copyrights, and who own AI? You feel what I'm saying? So soon, if we're not careful, we gonna lose a whole bunch of shit. You know what I'm saying? There ain't gonna be no such thing as composing your own music no more. And I'm talking about in the next 5 years. Because you got Elon Musk already breaking out the first sex robot in 2024, y'all. It ain't a game. So his robot's supposed to be able to fuck, suck, and all that stuff that this cum dumpster going up here in this type. You feel me? He got a robot doing it now. So y'all think Westworld just on TV? Westworld is about to be now. Matter of fact, Westworld is now. Elon Musk already testing the robots out himself, kissing them, fucking them. I say alleged with the space station. I don't want my man to get flagged. So this brother Muko saying that, not Newstoter. I'm saying yeah, he testing them out now. And testing
Well,
them out.
that's what product testers is for. That's why they got product testers. He could be a product tester.
I don't want to test no product like that.
Hey, real quick, y'all. I saw Shepard. He was starting a space, but I guess he decided. I don't know if he decided to close it down. But Shepard had a space about Juneteenth, and it was about something about refuting the myths surrounding Juneteenth. So I guess Shepard is. I guess he decided not to go ahead and hold it because I saw it when he opened it up, but I guess he said, "Hey, I'm not going to go ahead." So,
ain't nobody coming over
hey, I mean, Shepard could. I would like for him to come up in this space and talk about because Juneteenth is one of the topics as well too. So, I would like somebody message him and try to get him to come up in here so he can actually share with us the actual myths surrounding Juneteenth. Because I give Shepard one thing. You got to give Shepard one thing. Shepard is going he's going to stick to his speaking points, his talking points. He's not going to budge. So I definitely DJ, Professor, somebody, y'all get a chance. Go ahead and see if we can get Shepard to come up in the space tonight, and he can share with us the actual the myths. That he could refute the actual myths surrounding Juneteenth. That would be pretty amazing if he can go ahead and do that because I would like to hit exactly all the myths and everything else surrounding Juneteenth as well too. So I know my man, he's definitely a Pan-African. I respect Shepard's point of view like anybody else. So Shepard, I may not agree with everything he says, but he's pretty informative on certain things as well too. So I can go ahead and I can respect the brother's opinion, even though we may not always agree or whatever. I definitely don't have an issue with him coming up in here. So we're going to see if we can try to get old Shepard Wolf to come up in here so he can exactly explain to us the myths surrounding Juneteenth as well.
You really want to hear what that nigga got to say?
Yeah, I kind of do. I mean, that's what I'm saying. This ain't an echo chamber. That's what I try to tell everybody. Like, we don't have to always agree with everybody or whatever. Let people come up in here. You got an opinion or whatever, go ahead and share it. I definitely want to hear it. I definitely want to hear what Shepard got to say as well, too. So I definitely want to hear what he has to say, dealing with actual the actual myths surrounding Juneteenth as well too. Let me go ahead to Ray.
They told I was gonna say, let's see if we can get the lovely Black Native to come up here. Now I like to hear what she has to say.
Oh, Black Native. I mean, anybody that's in the space that wants to come up and speak, Black Native and everybody else, they know that they've been up in the space a million times. So they know if they want to say something, they're free to come up here and request a microphone. But Shepard, I want to hear what Shepard's got to say because I want to hear exactly what his space was going to be about. So I want to get it up in here as well, too. So let me go ahead real quick, guys. For those that the Jumbotron is packed now, let's not put any more in the Jumbotron. We got more than enough stuff up there. I'm trying to find the actual the YouTube link is a third on the right hand side, guys. So those that have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please go ahead and subscribe. If you have subscribed, go ahead and retweet it out. That's a third on the right hand side. Slowly but surely, we're growing the YouTube channel, so you can go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel while you're actually in the space listening to the YouTube space. You're listening to the Twitter space, excuse me. Also, for those that can support on Cash App, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Newstoter is the largest Black-owned, Black curation platform today in America. Just got off the Twitter suspension, so back in full effect. Make sure you guys go ahead and check out the content, the articles. Visit newstoter.com daily to stay up to date on breaking Black news in Black America. Just got off the actual the Twitter suspension today, guys, so I'm back in full effect, putting out content. So definitely keep your eyes posted. Retweet out the content as well too. Liking is great. Retweeting is even better because then that means you give a chance for other people to actually see the content as well too. So definitely retweet some of the content that we post daily. For those that do not have Cash App, the Venmo and PayPal is up in the Jumbotron. Let's go to Ray. Let's go to Brother Muku. I don't think we have heard from any sisters tonight too. So any sisters, y'all want to talk about Father's Day? If you got a man in your life, you want to speak about your father, your husband, your brother, your uncle, your cousin, you want to give a shout out, come up here, wish you happy Father's Day. If you want to speak about Juneteenth, definitely everybody, I know y'all heard about the Sukihana thing that's been going on with her. A couple things been going on with Sukihana. So if you want to come up here and talk about Sukihana, and I know y'all heard the Tupac situation seems to have dominated the discussion tonight, but feel free to talk about any topic tonight That's in the actual title. So definitely come on through, guys. Let's get some sisters up here. I want to hear from some of the sisters, if possible. I see Black Native is requesting to come up. So let me go ahead to Black Native. If Black Native wants to talk, since we already had Brother Muko and Ray talk, I would love to hear. Yeah, let's go ahead and get the Black Native. Black Native, how you doing tonight?
What's up, Newstoter? What's up, DJ?
What?
Professor? I see you calling me out for things.
What's up?
What's up, y'all? I saw you put in. I responded to the what was the DJ from California? They did the club music. I'm talking to you, DJ, but that's besides the point.
Oh, yeah, I saw.
What was his name? I forgot his name, but the
Frankie Knuckles. Talking about Frankie Knuckles.
Frankie Knuckles. Yeah, I still play. I still jam that. But yeah, I'm gonna speak on Sukihana. Well, let me say Happy Father's Day to every father in the room. You know, I call my brother and wish my brother Happy Father's Day. My father's deceased, so you know. But everybody else, I hope you're enjoying your day. And you know, Juneteenth is right there too, so it's like a double celebration. With Sukihana, are you talking about all of this stuff going on? Well, I saw the video of, I don't know the guy's name, walked up to her like they were at some type of basketball.
That was at YK Osiris.
Yeah. What was that, a tournament or something? And she was, I guess, one of the judges. And I know little Duval was sitting right next to her. And he walked up and just pretty much forcibly tongue kissed her. And, you know, a lot of people are saying, well, you know, it's the image that she projects, which is a slut. Let's keep it all the way funky. She projects the image of a slut. Right, a hoe. Not trying to be graphic, but that's the image. And so when that happened, you know, I guess because she's been, you know, saying she's Suki with the good coochie, and you know, she got, you know, she said she liked to cook for men, and I listened to some of her little, you know, interviews, but did she deserve it? Was it unwarranted? I guess at that time it wasn't. It looked like she was a little bit uncomfortable. I would say he needs to apologize to her. I don't know what she's trying. I doubt if she's trying to take any action legally against him, you know, but an apology is needed. But when you put that energy out, I don't know if that's just her persona, or is she, you know, is that her? You know, that is that the illusion that she puts out there so she can be relevant, or does she really roll like that behind closed doors? You know, I don't know the woman, but you know, when you put that kind of energy out there, you know, they're gonna step to you. They're gonna say, you know, you over here bragging on, you know, you got the good coochie and all this stuff. We want to see for ourselves what's going on. That's just being a man. But you know, coming on to her and forcibly kissing her when she ain't asked, yeah, that's not called for. That's just like, you know, some people say, can you rape a prostitute? Yeah, you can. You know, because that's her living. That's how she makes her money, whether you like it or not. But if someone forcibly rapes her, you know, and that's the dilemma that she's kind of finding herself in, because the image that she projects, that's slut image. And so now, you know, men are just not even respecting her because she don't respect herself. Let's keep it real. Like, I don't know too many women like that. I never whoop around women like that. You know, everybody had the little, you know, fast girl in the neighborhood that, you know, had a reputation. But overall, you know, most women don't behave like that. So I'm just wondering if it's a persona that she's decided to portray. Now with Tupac, I saw that they're going to be making pride clothes with his image. And then I saw as a white man, I'm wondering, who is this white man that has gained control over, I guess, his name, because his mother's not there. You know, he don't. Is there any other family members that, you know, can stop what they're trying to do, because that's crossing the damn line. Tupac did not stand for no LGBTQ. And if he was alive, he wouldn't co-sign that shit right now unless he got bought and paid for. But if he was alive today, no. He wouldn't want his face on no with LGBT colors on flags or none of that shit. That's just totally disrespectful. You know, sometimes they don't respect our artists. They don't respect our revolutionaries. If they, any chance they get, I was a co-host in the last space, they will tarnish our image. They will implement their agenda and dump it on us. And we have to say, hell no, not Tupac. No, maybe Little Richard or something, maybe, you know, but no, we're not Tupac, because he didn't stand for that when he was alive. He didn't preach that when he was alive, so don't try to put it on him while he's dead. And it's a white guy who has ownership of his name and his brand. And who is this man, and how was he able to gain ownership over Tupac's legacy? I don't know if anybody has that information. I just saw it on Twitter. And pretty much that's all I really have to say right now about it.
All right. Thank you, Black Native. And I'm going to say real quick, I have absolutely no idea how this gentleman got ownership, or how they got ownership of Tupac's estate. We know Afeni had it. I know Tupac had a sister. I would have thought that the sister, you know, after Afeni passed away, would have actually had the estate, but unfortunately that didn't happen. To get back to what you were saying about Sukihana, yeah, we talked about that earlier, and nobody co-signed whether Sukihana goes around doing what she does or whatever. We didn't co-sign that. You know, that was some dumb shit that, excuse my language, what this dude did by coming up there and just kissing on a woman like that. So we definitely didn't co-sign it. We know Sukihana definitely she definitely puts out a certain type of image. But nonetheless, the image didn't mean that the guy should just come up there and just put his mouth on the woman's mouth or whatever. So that was crazy. Nobody understood where that came from. I saw the video. I didn't see the whole thing. I saw him just come up there and kiss, and I was like, that was more than enough. Like that makes absolutely no sense right there, what he did.
The man was in the audience. Now, just because she act like she don't have a man, but I think she got a man. Now, when he did that out of nowhere, out the blue, and laughed about it, and everybody at the table was like, whoa, you know, they were surprised. What if a man was in the audience, and then, you know, after, you know, they let out, something popped off?
Hey, what if a man would have came up there right as he did that and would have checked them? You know that, I mean, he would have been well within his right to do it. I mean, that was stupid what he did. So we're not co-signing that at all. Like I say that, you know, Sukihana definitely, she definitely has her ways that she goes about certain things. Now, there was a video with her dancing with this kid too that was a teenager, whatever, and you know that made the rounds as well too. And a lot of people was like, hey, you know, I don't see y'all really getting upset about this here, you know, and that's not to say that you know what happened with her makes it any better, but they said at the same time, you know, people have not really said anything about her. And I think she was twerking with this kid that was a teenager, whatever, and nobody really said anything much about it, even though that was making the rounds on Twitter as well too. So, but you're right. We definitely, if the man would have came up there at the time and he would have hauled off and, you know, put hands on this dude, you know, he'd have been within his right. Like, hey, we don't, unless you and her got some kind of relationship like that people don't know. I mean, you just can't sit up there and just go up there and just put your tongue, like Biggie say, tongue all down her throat or whatever. Like, hey, if she would have turned around and slapped the dude, like a lot of women were like, why he did that, why he started doing that, would have turned right around and slapped the you know what out this dude. So she would have been right. She didn't even need a man. She would have slapped this dude right up there. You know, she would have been perfectly right there. Now, like you say, if the dude was up there in the audience and he'd have made his way to the stage like Will did with Chris Rock and came up there and hauled off, and not slapped him, but put a right hand on him, a left hand on him. Hey, bro, you would have brought it on yourself. So, you know, we talked about it. We know the first time I heard Sukihana, and forgive me for what I'm saying, I'm going to repeat exactly. I was looking a few years ago. I used to look at Love and Hip Hop. The first thing I ever seen when this lady came, I didn't even know her name at the time. The first thing that came out of Sukihana's mouth, and this, like I say, that still doesn't make that happened to her right. The first thing that I ever heard Sukihana say, she come walking out of she's coming to a restaurant, people's eating outside, bunch of white people was walking around, and I kid you not, this girl comes out there and she said, first thing out of her mouth, "Old puss ass hoe, I'm gonna fuck somebody's grandfather today." And all these white dudes start looking around. Like, yo, like what? I couldn't even believe they let it, like they bleeped out the F, but they let us say all other stuff on MTV. I'm like, what in the world? Like,
you know what? That's why we gotta weed out degenerate, low vibrational behavior that's being forced on us through social media. Which a lot of this social media, like what's her name that does the what's the one Sukihana? I used to watch it too. Love and Hip Hop. Mona Scott. I think that's
Mona Scott. Yeah.
Jamaican. She's Jamaican or African or something. She's not a Black American. You know what I'm saying? So then you got the Shade Room, all these other little gossip sites and all that, and they show our people in a degenerate light. Now, when you said she was twerking on a teenage boy, that's pedophilia to me. And I don't care if it's a man or a woman. If he's underage and she's an adult and she's twerking on him, imagine if that was a man grinding on a girl. He would be locked up or he would be called a pedophile. The same thing should go for the women. We're not discriminating. We gotta try to stop that because it's getting out of hand. Look at the rap. It's a girl that's got red hair. She talking about she had chlamydia twice. Like when people start announcing their venereal diseases to the public, or how they like getting urinated on, and all of this degenerate.
Rest in peace, old dirty bastard. Rest in peace, old dirty bastard.
Look, I remember he had the food stamp card. He had his food stamp card and came and got his food stamps in a limousine. He ain't give a damn. But that's some ghetto shit. Now you got ghetto and then you got degenerate. You could be ghetto but still have class. You could just be a ghetto classy. But when you just a degenerate, or you talking about like what a Newstoter said, she came in a restaurant talking about she gonna fuck somebody grandpa. That's degenerate. Like that's just disgusting. Low class, bottom level, bottom tier type women, and we gotta get them out of our culture. Because from what I understand, she Nigerian. So you see what I'm saying? So Little Kim, Foxy Brown started all of this shit. Little Kim from the islands, Foxy Brown, Haitian, Nicki Minaj, she's what, Trini or Bayesian or something. Look who's dominant. Cardi B, Dominican. Let's keep it real. So how do we stop that? From influencing our kids, or is it too late?
Hey, Black Native, remember the Tyrone dude? I'm Tyrone, and I'm here to fuck somebody's wife. You know what I'm saying?
You stupid.
Right there.
Yes, right? Just the female version. But I'm just speaking like, come on now. Like, you got the girl with the red hair talking about she had chlamydia twice. She bragging on that. Like, when people start bragging on their venereal diseases, that shit was supposed to be confidential. When you went to the health department or to your doctor, you don't tell nobody that. But they don't care no more. They don't care. So, it is what it is. I'll end.
Thank you, Black Native. Let me give a shout out real quick to Miss Eddings. Miss Eddings, thank you for your contribution on Cash App. Let me go ahead and I see we got a couple new speakers up here as well too. So I want to go ahead and let me get to Fred and Christopher. I'm gonna get to you, and then we're gonna get back to Ray and Brother Muku as well too. So Fred, go ahead and unmute your mic.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You there, Fred?
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, I just didn't know. Yeah, as far as this Sukihana, I was questioning whether she was from the lineage anyway.
But one thing I wish Black Americans would stop doing is cut out all this PDA and PDR, public forms of display, public just forms of ratchet, because too much. Whenever you open up a green light for somebody to see, to paint your group into a corner of ratchetness, it almost gonna justify anything else that comes after that. Because see, if they had had sense enough to say, hold up a second, I'm not in the bedroom. Let me not, like, there's a time and a place. So first of all, cut that the hell out. Now this.
Yeah, you done, Fred?
Oh, you said somebody that started. I don't know. Did you hear what I said about Sukihana?
I didn't. The last part I heard you say cut out the ratchetness, but I didn't hear the rest. But go ahead.
Well, okay, the public displays of it, because see, like I said, there's a time and a place. Now, Tupac Pride clothes. This is my first time seeing that. Where the hell did that come from?
It came from the people that bought his estate, took over his estate. They decided to go ahead and put that on there. So they decided to go ahead and add this Pride collection to Tupac estate. After Afeni Shakur died, they must have went ahead and somehow purchased his estate, got the rights to it. So they decided to go ahead and pretty much do what they want to do with it.
Okay, so the streets need to start talking and rise up 100% against that shit, because he never won co-sign nothing like that. See, I noticed that it's like I read some article where I don't know whether it was in Minnesota or somewhere. It talked about where a lot of the city council is Muslim, and these LGBT groups are starting to get their asses handed to them. And one thing they always try to do when Black Americans pull out of an issue, they find out they can't handle it themselves. So this is just a bullshit way of trying to somehow drag Black people into thinking that somehow a degenerate issue like this is somehow our issue. I just want to say the streets needs to rise up 100% against it, and don't join. Like I say, this LGBT issue is not a Black American issue. Now I mean.
All right, thank you. We're gonna get to Christopher, and I'm gonna get you up in here, Shepard. Shout out to you, Shepard. I see you up in the space tonight, so I definitely look forward to hearing what you got to say. I saw the situation, the space you was gonna start up about the actual Juneteenth and the myths and everything. So I definitely look forward to hearing what you got to say tonight. Let me go ahead and go to Christopher real quick. Y'all hold it down, and we're gonna go to Shepard. Ray, I got you after Shepard. And I got you, Brother Muku, Professor, and DJ. Y'all hold it down for me for 1 second.
All right, bro.
Man, good evening to the room. Good evening to everybody, and happy Father's Day to all the dads in the room, and Juneteenth to everybody, man. Glad to speak on the platform. I've spoken on it before. I rarely speak on here. But yeah, just get down to the brass tacks of the topics today. The Tupac thing, I think I remember seeing that last year around, or something like revolving around, like last year around Tupac and Pride clothes or something like that, or somebody was planning. I'm not sure, but what I find also interesting about that is that nobody from that LGBTQ community is actually, speaking out against that and saying that that's not what Tupac was about, or what he was actually, like he was invested in that. I find that very interesting, and to be like honest and tell the truth, because he wasn't in that energy. He wasn't on that. He was about, the revolution. I mean, his parents were Black Panthers. They were revolutionary people, but that's just that community taking and swapping, and it's an erasure of the history that they're doing, because I think it's going to be up to the prior generations to actually expose and keep the real image of Tupac alive, and make
make sure that is preserved to the fact is where, when they do try to attack that or attach to it as they're trying to do now, somebody has to come through and speak out about, the real deal on that. It's very, very serious. I mean, it ain't no telling what'll be next. If they doing Tupac, I mean, hell, Beyonce will be next, So I just wanted to say, leave it on that. But like the Sukihana situation, some people may not like what I'm going to say about this, but I mean, shit, Sukihana has allowed worse things to happen than what YK Osiris did to her. So, I mean, we literally have photos of this chick in a crowd and people was, filling all over her body and there's no reaction to none of that. I mean, this is what she's promoting. This is what she's doing. This is what she's setting traps out for cats and hoping and seeing who's going to take the bait. And what the problem is, the thing is about her, she's not even really about that life. So what you're doing, you testing waters or you testing people to really see if, to put them in a trap. And I think now, man, I mean, with this situation now, she's gonna milk the hell out of this situation with the YK Osiris thing, and YK Osiris may be the new poster child for the Me Too. Honestly, I mean, I think we're gonna see something like that emerge out the woodwork. But at the end of the day,
category too, though. Me Too and
say that again, Chief.
I say the Me Too and he's a simp.
Yeah, no doubt. Because what he should have did, he should have remained calm, remained cool, and he should have played that off a different way as opposed to just falling for that, taking the bait on that. I really hate to see the young brother, get fucked up like that. Excuse my language, but yeah, I mean he fucked up, man. But no doubt, man. Damn, what I was gonna say, I wanted to also say, but when it was something out there about her twerking on a 10-year-old, man. I mean,
we spoke about that too.
I mean, what the hell? I mean, bruh, I mean, if you're not about that, like, now what I will say this about, all the others is like Nicki and Lil Kim and Foxy Brown and all of them. They actually, they rapped about what they, all the little sexual, nasty, grimy stuff, but they at least somewhat had like a sense of, I would say, somewhat of a sense of decorum about themselves, as to where they kept it on a clean level. It's like now.
So you want to tell me Lil Kim's first album cover with her legs out like that, with her legs wide open, that was the point? I'm just saying.
Well, that's what it's doing. The sex, it sells. It sells. And no doubt, I mean, we're not taking Lil Kim out of or making her seem.
She's the grandmother of it all. She's the creator of it all.
Hold on, say that again.
Excuse me. She's the creator of I would say ratchetness. Like, she was the only one. I mean, who was it for her?
I wouldn't say she was the ratchetness. I would say the ratchetness that we see today in Black society and this degenerate stuff. I want to say that actually started in the 70s with the blaxploitation film.
I'm talking about rap. I'm talking about female rappers.
But that's the whole entire realm of where that stuff comes from. Because a lot of them, they base their music or they base their stuff from off of the blaxploitation era.
But prior to Lil Kim, you had female rappers that weren't dressing like that and talking about Panani and talking about how good they are in the bed. I mean, if they did it it was very subtle. It wasn't like in your, don't get me wrong, I love Lil' Kim. I don't grew up on listening to Lil' Kim, but I'm saying she was the one that ushered that in, because then you also had Foxy Brown, but then who came after that? It was Nicki Minaj, and then after Nicki Minaj, you have Cardi B and all these other little lookalikes with the same hair, the breast implants, the same style. It's the same energy. And you can't, and I mean, name another female rapper. Even Eve wasn't even on that like that. You had Rod Digger, you had other female rappers that weren't selling sex like that, like a pinup girl. She was the one that ushered it in.
Black Native, you're right. She did usher it in, but here's the difference between her and these ones that's out here today. The thing about Lil' Kim, she could actually put out lyrics. She was one of the best female lyric rappers I have ever heard. Now, these ones that's out here now, all they do is just throw their body out there. And I don't understand what they're saying in the rap game. But Lil' Kim, you could understand what she was saying in her song, and she was one of the best female lyricists in the rap game.
Okay. Hey, let me say something on top of that too, what Black Neighbor's saying. So the other thing is too, you got to understand that when we talk rap, hip hop, the jam, that ain't doing nothing but talk about what's really going on in the street. But what are these new cats talking about? You see what I'm saying? So it's like that's like the real difference to me. Lil' Kim was really talking about substance. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, it was nasty, but it was substance that anyone, even if you're a Christian, you could kind of relate to this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Because you get freaky in the bedroom, even though your religion is Christian. You see what I'm saying? So you have Christian women listening to Lil' Kim.
What I would like to also say, add on to that too, is the fact that they also told you the consequences of this shit. Unlike today, the females today, they don't have the I'll even say that I'll go as far as to say with 3 6 Mafia, you know, when they made music about all of the drugs and the lean and all that shit like that, which I know they were paid to by pharmaceutical companies and things, because I've heard, you know, that, but they also gave you the dire consequences that if you do this shit, this is what's gonna happen to you. Your vocal cords are gonna sound lame. You're gonna walk around and you're gonna be drowsy, or you're not gonna be focused. You're not gonna be able to perform. You're not gonna be able to just do basic functions and function like that. So you can try it if you want it, but here's also the consequences. I think now what we see in hip hop now is it's like y'all say there is no substance at all, because there's nobody giving you you doing this stuff. There's nobody giving you the consequences. Even though even with Pimp C, the reason why I think he was one of the best rappers, one of my favorite rappers, and UGK period, is that he didn't do the lean, he didn't do any of that, or he may have tried it or whatever, or did it before, I'm sure, but he also gave you every consequence that the in-depth consequences of the dope game and how all of this shit worked. And basically, he's telling you that I'm a crash dummy for you. So, if you really want to do that, you can, but here's what's going to happen to you if you get involved in that. So, I mean, I'll leave that there, and yeah, anybody can speak, they can speak.
All righty, I just got back into space. Who was that? Christopher that was speaking?
Yeah.
I don't know who was next, and I'm so sorry. I really want to say something really badly about this.
I think Miss Eddings, real quick, we got Shepard. He was up next, but then I got you. I can get you in right after Shepard. Unless Shepard, do you mind, Shepard, if Miss Eddings go before you, or?
I do not mind.
Okay, appreciate that, Shepard. Go ahead, Miss Eddings.
Greetings, family. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you, Miss Eddings.
All to the family. Okay, hold on. Back in those days when Lil' Kim came out, it was only one Lil' Kim, and I agree with I think it's Black Native. It was one little Kim, but then the rest of the women that were MCs were ladies. They were Black American ladies. Okay? Now, everybody's a little Kim. And there is no Queen Latifahs or there is no representation for what the standard Black American woman rapper is now. I don't even know not one, and if there is one, let me know so I can support her. So that's the difference between. I know y'all brothers that look at lyrics and stuff, but and then excuse my language. On that first album, she had a song that said, "I don't want dick tonight." Okay, let's keep it a buck. There was nothing positive. There was nothing about community. There was nothing about what we should do. She was the example because growing up in school, you had one hoe, and everybody knew who one hoe was. So I just wanted to point that out because I heard y'all gentlemen, and believe you me, I teach hip hop history. I'm letting you know. It ain't so much as the lyrics because it was different. She was out there and she was, like they said, first album cover, she sit there with her legs wide open. Okay, but it was just one of her at the time. So I just wanted to put that out. Thank y'all, family. I'm sorry. I'm going back down.
No problem. And let me add this real quick. Cause trouble. Christopher, you gotta mute your mic, Chris. Trouble just added this, and I saw that as well too. And she mentioned that you had the group right after NWA called Hoes with Attitude that came out. They was in California, so that predates even Little Kim. I mean, like you say, Miss Eddings, it wasn't a whole bunch of other women saying that kind of stuff, but you did even before Little Kim came out, you actually did you did actually have that, and you also some of the and they weren't big name rappers, but you had some females that rap with the Poison Clan back in the day down south, and
What was that Hammond's female group? Oakland 357.
Yeah, but O-Town 357, they weren't really raunchy, even though they had the little tights on and stuff like that. But yeah,
But weren't they spitting gangster shit though?
not really, because they was with Hammer too.
They wasn't speaking
No.
Let me suck your. They wasn't talking like that. Gangster talk and
No, not O-Town 357.
No, they weren't speaking like that. And like I say, but you did have a group Hoes with Attitude, and then you did, like I said, you had Luke, of course. Luke really got it going and stuff like that. But you like I said, and with the Poison Clan, that was after Luke in Miami. You had the Poison Clan, JT Money, and they would occasionally have females on there rapping on some of their songs, and it was raunchy as hell too. So I mean, so just to put that in perspective.
Short rapping Forte.
Yeah, rapping Forte. We know about the men that came, but I think they were talking
about the chicks, the girls that was on that album with them. The one, Don't Fight the Feeling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you had female rappers like Yo-Yo. I mean, I never heard of Three Hoes, whatever the name of that group was. I never heard of them. I'm talking about mainstream that was being played on the air throughout the country, and that was Little Kim. Like, she was the one, and she was the prototype for what we're seeing now. We had other rappers around that same time. We had E, we had Rod Digger, we had Afro Puff, Lady of Rage. We had Counter. It was a balance. It's not a balance anymore. Everybody is a hoe. Pardon my French, y'all, but that's what it is right now. Who's the biggest hoe?
The weird ass pussy. That's what it is now. Weird ass pussy.
Real talk. Let me go ahead.
I don't claim this on wet music.
Let me go ahead and get the Shepherd real quick, y'all. Let me go ahead and get the Shepherd. Shepherd, go ahead and unmute your mic.
I was enjoying the conversation, actually. Good conversation. Y'all are funny as hell. Can y'all hear me? We can.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Happy Father's Day, everybody out there. Everybody take care of their kids.
Happy Father's Day.
And doing the right thing. Y'all took me back in the days, man. I was really reminiscent, trying to figure out who else was ratchet? And I was also vibing with what the brother said about the black exploitation, because I remember how we didn't have a lot of content for our rappers. So we had to take, The Godfather, The Firm. We had to take Scarface. We had to take black exploitation movies. And I remember some rappers were actually quoting Minnie Riperton and using Minnie Riperton music. So we didn't have a lot of content that was real raunchy until we got like Coffee and all of the sex symbols from black exploitation, and then the pimp kind of came to the forefront in our culture as an iconic figure with the car, the money, and the girls, which is what the basis of hip hop, today, and will always be the basis of hip hop. So we didn't have a lot to work with, y'all. We had floor model TVs. I don't even know if VCRs was popping yet. Some of us had 8-tracks, My pops had an 8-track. So we had to make it do what it did with a limited amount of input, and that's just what we do as the culture, create from whatever the last creation was, So to the topic, I don't really know a lot about the Sukihana thing. I do agree with the brother who said that this kind of soft simping guy, Osiris, was a perfect patsy for the agenda, and for her to wash her image. She can ride this nigga, excuse the N-word, she can ride this brother all the way to legitimacy in Vogue magazine or something. She could pimp this dude out. He's about as dumb as a box of rocks, because hoes is losing recipes, and he giving hoes recipes in ways out of their whole box, whole caves. And hoes is definitely losing recipes, and he gave this one a real amazing get out of jail, whole jail free card, and that's just how I feel about it. I understand we got to protect our women, and I'm not saying he was justified, but we got hoes on Instagram, after Zion, we got hoes just falling out the woodwork trying to wash their image, and our young men are giving them that opportunity, and it's kind of hilarious, because all of the old school rappers that we talk about, the 2 Live Crew and the Loops and all of these people, they really was giving young men, the recipe not to fall into these traps. They were really giving young men, this same shit with hoes and tricks. They weren't literally trying to disrespect women. They were talking about the class of women who followed them on their tours and who they associated with, not all women. And then we got the Pocs, who make the songs about their mama and make the songs about things that are going on with women. So off of that, Father's Day, man. Whew, this is a rough day for some of us, man. I don't know if y'all still got your fathers and grandfathers. I don't have either my father or my grandfather, so it's a rough patch. To just kind of sit down and reflect and pour out a little liquor for the elders who are not here, while we do celebrate the elders that are here and ourselves for doing the right thing. We got elders who are not here that I'm kind of in mourning today, Day is kind of really solemn for me, because they're not here, and I'll leave it at that. And lastly, the whole Juneteenth thing, I got kind of a different, opinion of Juneteenth. I think it should be a celebration, right? I think we have every right to celebrate through the hardships that we faced as a nation and as Texans. We should celebrate, but at the same time, the history of June 20th, June 21st, and next week, Friday after next, was not great. It was some of the most brutal and repressive and violent towards us. Murderous rampages with men with hoods, freedmen agents getting lynched right along with us, just an abandonment of the Freedmen Bureau's responsibility towards us, just the defunding and demilitarization of Texas and Mississippi and all of these states that went right back into their homes. The oppressors didn't skip a beat. The Union came and told them to go home and rounded us up and put us in camps. And they went back to their lifestyle with nothing altered at all when they should have been hung. And, and everything should have been stripped from them. Instead, everything was stripped from us, including protection. And that's the part of Juneteenth that's a myth to me. It tries to give sort of an out to the dominant society. Like, look, this is the day we freed y'all. We were a little late with the mail, but look, y'all should dance and celebrate. Okay, yeah, we should celebrate for a period. We should also understand the history of the next week and the next day after and the month after what y'all did. So I think more of us need to use Juneteenth as a platform to expose the dominant society for what they did after, as much as we want to use it as a celebration. And when they want to be included in it, we should include them. We should include them and tell them that this was their role in it, not the Happy Union role and the savior of Gordon Granger, the general who went out there and delivered the proclamation and all that. No, y'all should celebrate the day after and what your ancestors did to us afterwards. So yeah, y'all can make atonement for what y'all did after the celebration. So that's kind of my controversial thoughts on Juneteenth. And I'll close with, it should be a part celebration and part pouring out some liquor and remembrance of the ancestors, what happened to them next, and it should be used as an attack platform to white supremacists and white liberals who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. That's it.
All right. Thank you, Shepard, for coming up here. Like I said, I saw you had a space going, so I wanted to definitely get you up in here. So I'm glad you came up in here and express your point of views on Juneteenth. So as always, thank you. Let me go ahead and I do I feel for you in terms of the actual your loss on Father's Day and stuff like that, because I know how it is, people celebrating and and which is good. I mean, I don't know if you have any kids or not, so but you see other people celebrating and stuff like that. So I felt you. I definitely felt that Mother's Day. This is my first Mother's Day without my mother, so I definitely can empathize with you on that as well too. So I definitely know how that feels. So definitely just keep your head up.
Hey, just real quick, hey Shepard, what you think about the Tupac Pride clothes, yo?
Man, what the fuck, yeah? What the whole fuck? But this is the pimping of the dead rapper, that rappers are worth more dead than alive, and it doesn't matter what the rappers' lyrics were or what their intentionality was for who they were as a rapper. That's like putting DMX Pride clothes together, or cat manufacturer, kitty litter, and DMX estate partner and shit when he fucking with no cats. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't care, man. They have already monetized dead rappers, and it's one distribution label. All the rappers wore a star on their ring, and every single one of them is dead. Nipsey Hussle, FBG Doug, like the list just goes on and on. The dude from Memphis, Texas, who got murdered, they all wear the same ring for this distribution label. Mo3. Yeah, so these rappers are worth more dead at a certain period of time, and then they just coming in like cannibals and disrespecting what their legacy was. And that just shows you how much of a monster Pride is and how much of an uncaring beast they are, that they do not give a fuck about anything that heterosexual and the black community cares about. They will pervert it into their agenda. If you give them an inch, it's over. So those are my thoughts.
All right. Thank you, Shepard. Let me get a new speak up here. So we got Rock Roller up here. Rock Roller, I'm gonna let you go ahead and speak. Go ahead, Rock Roller, unmute your mic.
Yeah, what's up? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, what up, dog? Happy Father's Day.
I wanted to build off of what Black Native was saying about this is a Lil Kim. Is anybody familiar with Missy Elliott and Adina Howard from the West Coast, and Missy being from the East Coast? Are they from our lineage? Because they started a whole bunch of ratchet shit.
To my knowledge, I believe they are.
Missy was ratchet. She's from Portsmouth, Virginia.
Yeah, but
the city I lived in.
Missy is one of the most respected female rappers.
Yeah, when was she ratchet?
Whoa. Y'all don't know some of Missy early catalog. Yeah, she was talking about.
No. Hold on a minute.
I know Missy catalog.
No. I'll fuck with Miss. I bought all her out, so I understand. Don't want no 1 minute man and all this other stuff. Yeah, we get that, but we talk about Missy wasn't showing her ass, and not to say that anybody wanted to see that back then. I'm just saying that's what Black Native was playing.
And when you talk about the substance of the music, that was just one little song she might have had on there. But again, she's talking about, hey, look, don't come in here with that 5 minute shit, Chevy.
You know what I'm saying? You got to put 30 minutes on the tape. You know what I mean? And
now she had a bunch of songs about sex. She had a bunch of songs about sex.
She didn't have a bunch of albums. She didn't have a whole album about sex.
Right. Now, and Adina Howard,
and those sex songs came with substance, though, Shepard, too. That's the other thing. But go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, Adina Howard was from Queens. She was from New York. She's from Queens, and she was a stripper prior to her making Freak Like Me, and some other stuff. But I'm not saying lyrically. I'm saying what the image is, like what you see, the wigs, half naked. That's what we see now. And where did it come from? It could have came from, like the brother said, the 1970s exploitation. But we had other female rappers to counteract that. It wasn't just that. And right now, that's what we see is just that. Unless, you got Rhapsody, but she ain't really getting no airtime. All we seeing is the hoes. And let's just keep it real.
If you're a conscious rapper, you're not going to get the time. It's going to be just this trash that's going to get that time because we know who controls the corporations of the music industry. I already know.
Let me go ahead and because Rock, I guess he was finished because I didn't know if he had something else that he wanted to add as well, but I see he dropped down. So let me go ahead and get Fred up here. Fred, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Could be having phone.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. When you look at the music back then, you can't really compare a lot of the female sexuality to what it is today. Because see, back then, like when you looked at a lot of the females that represented some type of sexual content, it actually made you want to up your game to hook up with them. Nowadays, it's about let me slip this heifer a pill. You know what I mean? It's totally like they don't, it's not really on the same level. Like when you look at Adina Howard or Jade, you looked at their videos and almost made dudes want to get in better shape, up their game. You know what I'm saying? To hook up. And then when you look just like somebody had said, when you look at who controls a lot of art music and how it gets out. See, like, I remember listening to Cool Mo D. He had a song called They Want Money. Now, he got his point across just as well, if not better, than a lot of these dudes that that basically look at them, like, say it in a more ratchet way. See, like, back then, when hip-hop actually came from us, so it represented the culture. Nowadays, it's more or less like when you get a lot of this immigrant or non-Black American influence in it and controlling it, it takes it in a direction to where they try to ratchetize everything about the culture. Now, I mean,
I'm still in ratchetize.
Hey, go ahead, Shepard. Go ahead.
I'm stealing the word ratchetize. Just let you know that.
Yeah, we just made a new word up there. You go, Fred.
Let-
You're an orator on that.
Now I kind of lost the order of things. I kind of lost the order of things, but I'm gonna go Christopher, and well, it might be Charles, and then Chris. Go ahead, Charles. Hey, you there, Charles?
I just wanted to let the people know that it's a rapper. Her name is Roman. She's from Richmond, Virginia. You know, she's a rapper. She don't portray no whorish image. But at the end of the day, like, you know, we all acting like we didn't come here because our parents, you know, got it on real good. You know, because we all know that to make a baby, you gotta get it on real good. You know what I'm saying? So they've been talking about, you know, derogatory stuff in music way when music first started, you know, from us. You know, they had us, you know, our women, Billie Holiday, and, you know, they got another lady right now, damn, I forgot her name, but she's an Alabama singer, and she got a song called when she's in a bed with somebody else's husband, and he get a phone call, and you know, this is an older lady. You know what I'm saying? So like this whole shit.
Big Cynthia? I know you ain't talking about Big Cynthia now, no.
No, man, I forgot that damn lady name, but she also got a song.
You talking Millie Jackson?
No, she also got a song where she caught her husband kissing a man when they went to a party. It's called Bill. The name of that particular song is called Bill, but I forgot the fucking lady name though.
But here's the thing, real quick, Charles. That most of the, and when we talking about most of the songs in the 60s and 70s, yeah, you had people that they did have some songs like that. You had Clarence Carter and talking about cheating, and you had Rick James, and you had other people, but for the most part, you didn't have, most of your artists weren't talking about just sleeping around. Now they did constantly talk about making love and this and that and stuff like that, but most of them weren't talking about it wasn't talking about being hoes either. Now we just being honest.
I mean, I don't want to say it's all about being hoes because like what you do with your lady or your man, that's your business. Like I think somebody said that, you know, earlier today. But at the end of the day, I mean, like God gave us the ability to do what the hell we want to do. So if you know, if that's what, you know, that lady want to do, you know, as an entertainer, you know, she can do that. And if that's what the artist want to do, because people got to think about it, sex sells, so people will buy it. You know what I'm saying? Even if you ain't that type of way, you can portray an image and people would, you know, soak that shit up. You know, so I agree we got to be careful, but it's too fucking late for all that because this shit been happening since the 1920s. That them older songs, them blues songs, them ladies, you know, singers, they was like, you know, real vulgar in their speech in their songs, you know, and I believe the blues is kind of sort of like rap, you know. If you
But Charles, I'm gonna have to push back some. And in the 20s, women weren't talking about they pussies, and men weren't talking about dicks, and they weren't talking, like, let's be honest here now.
I got a song right now.
What song in the radios they were playing back in the 1920s where they were talking about coochie, dick, they was talking about effing, they was talking about all threesomes, menage a trois.
I know what he's talking about. And yeah, they wasn't playing it on the radio. That was
Hey, I said this the other day, but Chubby Check It Twist, that's a twerking song. Think about it, man.
Yeah, right. So, you know what I'm saying? We just, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a part of us. It's gonna be a part of us, and name will stop it. You know what I'm saying? Because it makes money. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like I think Fred said, we gotta, you know, just teach our kids other stuff. You know what I'm saying? And just do it the best way you can. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we gotta realize, like, now they came out and said that oral sex causes throat cancer, which I think is a bunch of bullshit. But you know what I'm saying? because I don't know nobody that got throat cancer from oral sex, so I just think it's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just gonna mute up.
All right, appreciate that. Let me go ahead
Can I ask something?
real quick. Go ahead, Black Native.
Yeah, you said a lot, and like you were trying to give us a anatomy lesson. We all know that our parents had sex, and that's how we got like we are all adults, so we know that. But there's a difference between ratchet and you could say like let's use Teddy Pendergrass as an example, and say the song "Turn Off the Lights," right? It's a way to present things. You could present something. It could be the same thing, but you could present it two different ways. But you really say the same thing. You could say it in a classy way. I want to have sex with you, or I want to sleep with you, or you could just say, "Look, come on, let's just fuck." And that's what we're hearing right now. It's very low vibrational, and you're younger, so I guess you like, what the hell, But it's a way that you could do something and say something, and it still means the same, but it's a way that you present it. That's what we're saying. And the way that we're hearing it now, like the girl that said she got chlamydia twice, and then I watched her video on Twitter, and she talking about somebody stick something in her brown hole, and she want to suck this. I mean, it's nothing. They're not leaving anything to the imagination. And as women, you always supposed to be a little bit mysterious and always leave something. But they just throwing the shit all out there right now. You know what I'm saying? No class. No, let me leave a little something. Because don't no man want to marry a hoe. He'll play with her for a while, but that's not who he wants to bring home. Unless he clean her up. Let's keep it real. And I land.
All right, real quick.
Being baptized, that means she's still a saved hoe, ain't she?
Real quick.
Right now, the church they got this one song right now called "Say My Name, Say My Name," and I know the lady that made that song up, and that's crazy. That's fucked up because that means that she got that shit from the Destiny Child. You know what I'm saying? They turned it into a whole gospel song, so it's just fucked up.
Yeah. Let me get to Christopher. Christopher, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, hold on a second. How many children did Destiny have?
Talk about Destiny a child?
Nah, I'm joking. He said
Oh.
Destiny's Child
Oh.
with an S. I was like, huh?
Go ahead, Christopher.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I wanted to also address. I lost my train of thought. Though I said some things, and I think some people cut in and made me lose my thought. But what I was going to say about the female rappers from like the '80s, from like Queen Latifah, MC Light, and all of them. Those sisters were definitely. I think the big thing is the music definitely reflects the time that they were in and the different mind states from the grassroots. And I think when they were definitely on revolutionary music and revolutionary change, and which I fully admired that because they had something to say. And hearing it from a woman saying stuff like that, it definitely hit different for a male, at least from my standpoint as being a young man. Definitely hits different, when you hear black women speaking that way, and speaking different things about what's going on and being conscious, just like revolutionary. But also too, what I want to say, the song you guys were talking about, I can't remember the name of it, but I know what you're talking about. It came out like in the early 1900s, but you lick my pussy or I suck your dick. Something I know what y'all talking about. And yes, and Black American culture, we've always had some type of ratchetness, man. But for the most part, we've always had a reflection of that revolutionary spirit of us fighting and being standing up for what we believe in and shit. So and about Missy, Yeah, Missy has some little ratchetry here, but what I will, like I say, what I will say about Missy, I think she got a song that's "Pussy Don't Fail Me Now" or something like that. But but Missy was, I think what it was, Missy was having fun with it. She knew how to have fun with her music and create it. Definitely one of my favorite, if not probably my top, might be my top female artist. I don't know if I want to say all time, but I do have all her albums just about Superfly, Miss E. Um, damn, what's my other one? I can't remember the other one right now. And it's so many of them that she dropped so much heat. But yeah, man, Missy was doing her thing. So I wish she would make another album, man. The game really needs that right now, for real. I know she came out with an EP a couple of years ago, but we need another Missy album, for real. It's just she knew how to have fun with it. It's just fun time. It's just fun.
All right, appreciate it. Let me go ahead and get to Shism. Shism, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Thank you. Happy Father's Day, everybody. Hope you guys enjoying your weekend.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you.
No worries. Okay, because I just popped in coming from hanging out at Juneteenth week. We've been celebrating since Friday, and we're going to continue to celebrate until tomorrow, too. So I hope everybody's enjoying their Juneteenth as well. So, okay, but Sukihana, because I think that be the young folks that be up here talking about all that bullshit. So what if folks was talking about having sexual content in the music in the 40s and 30s? They wasn't explicitly visual neither. They had on long dresses and stockings too. And they weren't undressed. We didn't see the crack of their ass. We didn't see their breasts. Half of them women was overweight anyway. So they weren't sexually appealing. It's not cool as a parent. Don't tell me that it's not cool for the LGBT community to come out and try and sexualize our children, but it's okay for a bunch of stripping ass hoes to do. I fucking don't think so. We all do all kind of things in our bedrooms, but if we don't make it public, neither. Some of these women out here doing too much, and half of these bitches is plastic any fucking way. They lazy as fuck. They don't even want to go out there and exercise, and then you eat a right type of diet. They not advocating for my children. They not advocating for my daughter. They not advocating for young black women. They're not telling them to go and suit up and boot up and get ready for this fight. They're not telling them to go get educated. They're not telling them to present themselves like ladies. They're not telling them to learn how to cook for real, learn how to cook, and learn how to clean, learn how to take care of your children. They're not telling our baby girls that. These bitches out here fucking fighting all the fucking time.
Try not to curse too much, Shism.
Okay, I apologize because that works my nerve. These are our children. And that's who's really watching too. Yeah, adults may be watching it, maybe adult content. But at the same time, children are watching this. And our young girls, they already struggling. And I ain't saying struggling to the teeth, because a lot of them are doing very well. We want them to continue to excel. But all this extra, a lot of that is extra. Sukihana all up there with her breasts hanging out, and she just slapped her coochie in somebody's face. Then apparently she wanted to say she was sexually assaulted. Really? The old Hispanic girl out there claiming she's black, and then but she talking that all up on national TV on these love and hip hop shows saying she's black and she a Latino or whatever the hell she is. But then she claimed to be white on paper. But then she out here fighting like black women, like that's all we do. We don't fight like that. We don't go out to a club, get pretty dressed up with high heel shoes on, with money in our purses and pocket to to go out and fight. We're not fighters like that. We're nurturers. We're women. We're educators. We take care of our children. And we love our men. We're not out here trying to embarrass them neither. So yeah, the music can be the music, but it needs to have some sort of limitation on and put a little respect on it too. And I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Shizm. Thank you. Let me go ahead and get to Carlos. I'm gonna get to you, brother Maku, as well too. Go ahead, Carlos.
Hey, yeah, I just wanted to comment on the Missy Elliott thing. I actually went to school with this, and she was in a group called Sister before she had her solo career, and her music wasn't ratchet. She actually wrote a lot of the songs on Mary's first album, What's the 411. And I mean, she wrote songs that were like provocative for like the artist Tweet, her artist Tweet, and Nicole Ray, that is also from Portsmouth. She wrote some provocative songs, yes, but as far as being an artist, she really didn't have too many. She might have hinted around, but I mean, that's been in music forever. Like the song "The Electric Slide." Who knew that was about a Bible? I mean, and that's Marcia Griffiths, the Jamaican lady that wrote that song. Woogie. Yeah. That song is about her and her vibration. So it's been around, but it wasn't as blatant and out in the open as it is now. Now it's just like Black Gable said, there's nothing left to the imagination. It's just pure debauchery.
All right.
I got one for you too, Carlos. Baby, you dropped the bomb on me. They thought they was talking about making love, and baby, you did me so good. But hey, man, the white man dropped the bomb on our people, man. Let's go.
All right. Thank you, Carlos. Let me go ahead and get to brother Muku, and then I'm gonna get to you, Trouble, as well. Go ahead, brother Muku.
Yeah, thanks, brother. I wanted to add this too. I mean, all of our degeneracy and our degenerate behavior came from.
Brother Muku, you're a little bit low. Can you you got a headset on?
Yeah, hold on, let me get that. My phone, can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I can hear you much better.
Okay, what I was saying was, a lot of us tend to forget, and this is not because we stupid or nothing, so I don't want nobody to take this the wrong way, but we get in the habit of missing and forgetting and voicing the instigators. All of this all of this degeneracy that we see and that we have seen in the past, even going back to the 1900s and all of this behavior came from the white supremacists and what they allowed us to do. You know what I'm saying? And the biggest part of that is our fight to be equal to them, equal to do the same shit that they do, equal to say the same shit that they say. You know what I'm saying? That's all our fight has been. The fight for equality. Equality to what? To be equal to these motherfuckers. Oh, if a black man did that, he'd be in jail. Well, why would a black man even want to do that? You know what I'm saying? Like we compare ourselves to be not better than the degenerates, because what we say, and I hear a lot of people say it, we came from kings and queens and we came from greatness. Well, if we came from greatness, why are we fighting to be equal to evil? You know what I'm saying? So we gotta really think about that and stop being naive and in our feelings. You know what I'm saying? Because when we got WAP playing on the radio, when we got Cardi B playing on the radio, when we got Glorilla talking about let me get a lick of some, you know what I'm saying? And female, and she ain't got nothing but hoes on it. I mean, she say, what's the line she say? Niggas love the hoes. No, we say, she love the bitches,
and niggas love to hold. So my advice to you is go and be a hoe. Ain't no nigga forcing her to say that. You know what I'm saying? And just like on the flip side, ain't no person or forcing a nigga to be degenerate either. You know what I'm saying? But our degeneracy comes from the white supremacists, and it's all about us changing our values. You know what I'm saying? If we don't change our values and we keep letting them say shit like the electric slide, okay, yeah, that was about a vibrator. Shout out to Black Native for pointing that out, because that is, I mean, well, not Black Native, but the brother that pointed that out, that was the truth. But it was still degeneracy. Even if it was leaving something to the imagination, why even make a song about that? We can't make all of the shit that we have gone through, all of the mistreatment that we have gone through. We can't make a million songs about repair, how repair looked, how justice looked. You know what I'm saying? How a nation of black people that don't even say dick, pussy, shit, fuck, none of that. We don't even get that a chance. You know what I'm saying? And to speak to Missy, I had and a lot of people might not like what I'm about to say. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I like some of Missy's songs. I've danced and grew to some of Missy's songs. I've never bought an album, but I will say this: if Missy had the body to be showing her ass, best believe Missy would have been up in that motherfucking Superfly. She wouldn't have been in no big ass bubble suit. You know what I'm saying? And that has came out of her own mouth. You know what I'm saying? She has dropped weight and all that. As soon as she dropped weight, and you seen her in the video, I think it's in a woman's nature to want to express her beauty. You feel what I'm saying? And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. Now, I'm not saying women walk around be naked and be disrespectful of yourself, because.
So what about Lizzo?
To be perfectly honest, Lizzo respect don't have nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? Lizzo respect has everything to do with herself. If Lizzo ain't respecting herself, she can't respect me. She can't respect you, Black Native, nobody. You know what I'm saying? Because she ain't respecting herself. And I think we need to get stuff like that straight when we talking about male and female degeneracy, especially when we talking about non-white, black, male and female degeneracy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we have to be totally honest to change this shit. If we really do our research, we got that shit from the white supremacists. All the shit that they have done to us, all the shit we have witnessed them doing to each other, all the shit that we have, and not saying we in this space, but of course I'm saying our elders and ancestors, you know what I'm saying, yearn to be like them. I mean, if any of y'all ever seen that movie Lovecraft, you know what I'm saying? You had a black girl in there she would die to be white. You feel what I'm saying? We had that element and still do to this day. You know what I'm saying? Black people that want to be everything other than black. You know what I'm saying? That's a degeneracy in itself. So we got a lot of self-hate going on around here. You don't know. You might not know that some females out here showing their tits and their ass don't even want to be black. They hate their blackness. You know what I'm saying? So we got to look out for that too. I land that.
All right. Let me go ahead and get to Trouble. Trouble, how you doing tonight?
Hey, Newstoter, we are back.
Yes, ma'am.
Glad to see you back up in the cut, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate that, sister.
Much love. Shout out to everybody in the space tonight. Hope everyone's doing well.
What's up, Trouble?
Hey there. So, happy Father's Day to all of the fathers in the space, all of the uncles, brothers, cousins, big homies that just play a role in your child's life or somebody's child's life or just in your community, neighborhood, trying to make it better as a black man, as a human. You know, shout out to all of you who do your part. And sometimes it's a thankless job, and sometimes you don't get the flowers you deserve. Sometimes you don't get the recognition you deserve. You don't get spoke on, and nobody knows the impact that you've actually made until years later. Sometimes you don't realize the impact that you've made until years later. So thank you to all the brothers who play their part, play a role, and whether you know it or not. Shout out to my own dad, who's thank God is still kicking, even though he's struggling with his dialysis that he has to go through. Hopefully, they put him up on the list for a kidney thing, but they had taken him off of the list because Brigham and Women's had decided that the African Americans, the black people, there weren't enough kidneys to go around for them, and they took all the black people off the list and didn't tell anybody. And so 2 years later, they're just now sending out an apology for the discrimination, and so they put him back on the list.
Well, they lying ass.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that just kind of woke up something about how they do our people and the continued medical apartheid that we all continue to go through. And so they're saying it still could be 8 years, but at the same time, the doctor has just informed him, to keep his phone on at all times, because they can call him at any time. So I'm hoping that goes through. So shout out to my daddy. And definitely a daddy's girl. I'm very much my mother's daughter, but I am daddy's little girl. Juneteenth. Juneteenth is a holiday. I think that we're going to have to continually to be intentional about what we as Black Americans see it as, what we want everybody to recognize it for, and continue to be intentional in that, and just like Joe Biden decided to put out 187, 37, or over 100 social media influencers to carry out his agenda. Besides our voice being the most powerful thing, social media right now is one of the most powerful tools we have in hands, and we really need to utilize that when it comes to informing others and making them be respectful of what it is. Everybody can celebrate this holiday as we celebrate all other holidays that are not ours, but it has to be celebrated the way we want it to be celebrated, and you can't segue your culture into something that is not your culture. You can't make it about you on our day. We welcome everybody to celebrate, but you need to follow our lead. And so if we want people to follow our lead on what we're doing, we have to be super intentional about it and just continue. Even before next year comes around, I say that we need to keep continuing to put stuff out about it, just so and get on these corporations' ass when they come out with the red flag and green flags. I've seen someone say in the comments about online about those colors always being representative of, but if we now know that the colors that we want and the flag that we want is the red, white, and blue with the star in the middle, we have to make sure that every time they post the wrong thing that we come back. I've emailed a few of my favorite t-shirt places this week to let them know, okay, I seen one shirt with the official flag and all of the words are in red, black, and green, and this is what it is, and this is what I would like to see moving forward. Whether it works or not, they've been put on notice. So we have to be intentional that way with Juneteenth and pretty much everything else. Even, and I'm going to segue that into the Tupac situation. They got some goddamn nerves. Tupac is one of my favorite rappers of all times, and how dare they be so disrespectful to even evoke pride stuff, but it's a money game. And they see it as a money thing, and those who have control of his estate right now are just using it to make money, not even so much for the state as it is for themselves. They can say what they want, but even with that, we have to be intentional. We have to not so much as talk about it all the time. We have to let them know exactly how we feel about it. So we need to go on a strong social media campaign, if nothing else, to let them know that this is not cool, and moving forward, you have got to stop doing this, even with the people who are deceased, especially with the people who are deceased and can no longer speak for themselves and don't even have family members who can speak for them. Or even if the family members speak up because he has a sister that's still alive, her one voice is just what it is, and maybe she's trying to get a little something on the side too, so that's keeping her quiet and complicit. So it's about the culture, and we got to start making people be respectful. Sukihana, Lord, Sukihana.
Go ahead, Joe. Come say.
Listen, that's
you know you want to say it. No.
Yeah, it's a lot of good points that have been made about Sukihana, so I don't need to go into a long diatribe about that. But it's, we've delved into a lot of different conversation about what it was back in the days versus what it is now. Black Native made excellent points, and another few other people did as well, saying how the music back in the days weren't as blatant as it is now. We've always had other artists out that could counter that one person. You got one hoe out talking about her stash, and you got 4 or 5 other female rappers out that's talking about something really bad or talking about whatever, but they weren't talking about 2020, what was between their thighs or whatnot. And I think it's kind of a moot point to bring up the artists from back in the days in the 20s and the 40s because, like the sister came on and said, they were clothed, they were fully clothed, and a lot of things, and it wasn't national like it is now. We didn't have all of the visuals, and we just kind of went into an era of straight degeneracy. And that includes the LBGT degeneracy, and it seems like we're in a whole Sodom and Gomorrah type situation. It's almost like black people went to sleep and woke up in a bizarre world where we're just now realizing when we look back at what happened with the black culture and how it had been taken over. Our culture had been taken over a long time ago. We just really didn't realize it because to a certain degree, we weren't looking at things then sort of how we're looking at it now, right? Like, so now we're recognizing that we need to delineate from all of these other people, for whatever reason that we decided that we want to delineate and just make certain things, known that this is y'all and this is us. Okay, because back in the days we had Little Kim's, we didn't know who she was. We didn't know that she was born, not of the lineage. We thought she was. So we celebrate her as just for being black. We had Uncle Luke, who don't stop getting it. And I know he's a male, but I'm just using that to say, we have all of these other rappers that we can point to and point out, oh, okay, that's where all of the sexual and kind of fuckery came from. That's not to say us Black Americans ain't our own set of fuckery, but that's just to say that when you kind of look back on it, you can start pinpointing people out who's not of the lineage. And it's sort of like we're just now waking up and saying, oh, damn, we all kind of championed it in our own kind of way. But now that we're realizing, okay, it's some BS going on with these other nations of blacks, now we kind of want to be separated from it, and it's hard to separate ourselves from it because it's all tied in, and it's gotten the corporate white folks tied into it. They knew what was going on, we didn't, but now we do. So I don't know. It's kind of Sukihana. I'm gonna just say about that sister is I never think that a woman should be, whether you put your putty on the platform the way she does or not. Nobody should disrespect you and try to do what old boy did. He was lame for that. Nobody's going to speak up for you. And I guess because I've heard a lot of women online say, oh, black women still aren't protected. But you had the brothers who sat around who didn't say anything to the young man about doing it. But in that instance, I would ask, what was they supposed to do because of the image that she puts out for herself? I don't think that's the right case to bring up and say, well, we're not protected when you put that image out of yourself. And I could tell she was uncomfortable as a woman, and it was something that he shouldn't have done. But we also got to be stronger in a sense, too, where we could say, hey, I know I'm a hoe, but you can't kiss me like that. Just because I'm a hoe, just because I sell Nani don't mean that you could just roll up on me and get it. I mean, you got to pay for it. We got to make an agreement. We got to have an arrangement. We got to do A, B, and C before you get the Nani. I need it on the dress of a boat hand, or however they doing it nowadays. I need it cash down, where they cash out the coochie money now. You need to make some arrangements before you get your roll up on me like that. But someone said she was twerking on a 10-year-old child. As a mother, my 10-year-old children, when they were 10-year-olds, they were never anywhere that mama wasn't. And that's just straight up. Unless they was going to school for the day, if it was any kind of event outside of school, my 10-year-old child wasn't there. You wasn't getting ready to have the opportunity to twerk up on my 10-year-old child. I mean, that's just what it is. So as a parent, where was your mama at? Where was your daddy at? Where was your big sister them at? Where was your cousin them at? Because that's not cute. So we gotta, as parents, you can't 100% blame Sukihana because she's trying to get the attention. She's trying to draw in the dollars. Where was your mama at? That's what I want to know. Where your people at? Where they be? And I'm gonna land on that. Y'all much love. Y'all know I'm long-winded. Y'all have a good night.
All right. Thank you, Trouble. We're gonna get to our last three speakers of the night. I'm gonna get the I Am, Black, Native, and yeah. Who said that?
Yeah, okay, go ahead. My bad, damn.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to I Am, Black, Native, and Fred. Those are gonna be our last three speakers for the night. So I Am, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, Tyler, just real quick, check the YouTube, bro.
Okay.
Peace, power, and reparations, family. Happy Father's Day to the fathers. Happy Juneteenth weekend. Yes, all weekend. I mean, I've been celebrating all month, but that's what I've been doing for about 5 years now. But yeah, I appreciate the room, but I don't want to talk about no Sukihana because I'm not promoting that degeneracy in no capacity. My children know you can't play it in my house, my car, nowhere in my vicinity. I don't want to hear that music degrading. And I know I grew up on it. I'm a Gen Xer. I grew up on Little Kim. I'm from New York, so we heard it. But now I'm good. I'm grown now, and I understand what it's doing and what it has done, and I just don't want to be nowhere around it. In regards to Tupac, when I seen that a couple of days ago, that was crazy. That was just he wouldn't have wanted that. I can't imagine him saying that he would want that to happen or support that. And he does have a sister because the sister just was there when he got the star in California. She was there for that, so I don't know what's going on with that. I think it's a little crazy. As far as that Electric Side song, I put some stuff in the chat. That rumor was debunked years ago. But I put the links in there as well in the chat so you can see that rumor about it being a song about a vibrator was debunked. That was debunked years ago. So that's not true. The original writer of the song debunked it, as well as I can't think of the lady's name who actually sang the song. They both debunked it. So let's please proceed in putting forth the facts. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoying yourself and lifting them Juneteenth flags and the Black American flag high this weekend. I got them on my car. I've been wearing shirts. I put them in my yard. I'm just putting them everywhere. Even went to the city next to mine yesterday. These white folks was out there. Their Juneteenth celebration. There was about 5 black people I've seen the whole time. But I came out there and I represented. It's just crazy. I just hope we can get a hold and gatekeep it and take this all down and prepare for next year. Because I've been celebrating Juneteenth as long as I know. So I don't know. This is some different shit. It's bugging me out every year. So I hope we can get it together. But yeah, and don't forget, you guys, tell somebody about reparations, please. Every day, you should be out here telling somebody about reparations every single day. And if anybody has a list of all the tax force, I heard it was 100. Please send me the list. I'm looking for it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, I Am. Let me go ahead and kick it to Black Native. Black Native, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, I want to say thanks for holding the space on Newstoter. I ain't been here for a while, but I'm back.
Yeah, it's been a little hot minute since I seen you. I hope everything's okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can hear you. So, it was a couple of things that people had said. I want to say, I remember when MC Light made a song called Roughneck, right? And when you listen to the lyrics, she's being a little explicit, but because she was so tomboyish, it wasn't really sexualized, but it was sexualized in the lyrics when she was saying she wanted to rock. And then, you know, when we speak about the brothers, I'm so glad Future is not making any more songs, because when he came out with Molly and Percocet and Fuck Up Some Commas, I just was listening to that song the other day in the car, and I really sat and listened to it, and I was like, he's telling people to fuck up hundreds and thousands of dollars, not put the money in the bank. He talking about fuck up your money, like literally. I'm like, what kind of, you know? And then we did have positive music. We had Self-Destruction when all the rappers got together, and they did a remake, Self-Destruction. We had Public Enemy. So we were, like I said, we had the counter actors that were out there, and that maybe that's what we need. But like you said, it's not just, we're not the ones that are putting the music on the radio. You know, it's small hats. We understand it. And like what Brother Moko was saying, you know, we've always lived in a world of white supremacy. So do we really even know how to be who we truly are without the influence or under the influence of white people? Like really truly be ourselves. You know what I'm saying? That's something that, you know, I would love to see happen. But then, I mean, they would have to go somewhere, and you know, that's a whole different story. But yeah, because, you know, it's just like we've always had to be something. We try to be who we are, but we really can't try to really be who we are. Because, you know what I'm saying, it's always, we got those people, you're never really alone. There's always somebody right behind you looking. So that's the world that we live in here in the United States. So I can understand where Brother Muko was coming from. But, you know, that was pretty much all I wanted to say. Tomorrow, God willing, I hope to go to a plantation out here for Juneteenth, me and my family. Even though I could just go right up the block, but then people will know where I live at. So I'm going to go to a plantation and hopefully, I'm not paying. These motherfuckers try to make me pay to go come into a plantation. Oh yeah, you're gonna see me family cursing some people out tomorrow. So that's what I plan on doing for Juneteenth. This is the first year I've celebrated it. Just learned about it maybe 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. I started hearing about it. So that's my plans for tomorrow. Hopefully I'll get a chance to put it on my Twitter. But, you know, that's it. Thank you for allowing me to speak. Y'all have a lovely evening.
All right. Thank you, Black Native. Let me go ahead and get the
Welcome back, Black Native. Welcome back.
Let me go ahead and get the Fred. Fred, go ahead and unmute your mic.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Fred.
All right. Yeah, see, like I said, there was a difference when we were controlling our music. There was a difference between sexiness, freakiness, and then ratchetness. Like when they spoke of some artists, that we had the artist that was basically making the sexually explicit music, but some that were making the more uplifting music. But we also had the same artist that was making both music. Marvin Gaye had Sexual Healing, but then he also had What's Going On. So when we started, when you can't go back to none of the female rappers back then that would talk about something sexual, you never found them twerking on no 10-year-old. When you look at, I remember there was a rapper named Choice in Houston. Then we had people like Blowfly. See, we understood there was a time and a place for it. We didn't make that the culture. Those music, like when you listen to somebody like Pygmy, Markham, or like I said, Blowfly, that was occasional music if we knew when and where to do it. But nowadays, when you get artists like Sukihana and Lil Nas X, that opens the door for these bastards to put out some Tupac Pride clothes. Because see, you're basically mixing something that we have and to have control over and our influence, and trying to, you're green lighting other vultures and degenerates in there to take our music and say this represents all of us. So it's basically like when we get back to controlling the narrative and controlling our own creativity, we can put a stop to the bullshit. And I mean,
All right, Fred. Thank you. Let me just say one thing real quick, everybody, because she was dancing on a kid. I don't know if that kid. I know somebody said he was 10. I assume the kid was a teenager, so I don't know exactly how old the kid was, but you know the kid was young, so I don't know if the kid was 10 years old or 13 or yeah, well, yeah, we know he was underage, but I'm saying I don't know if it was a 10-year-old, a teenager, or what. But we know the kid was underage, so I just want to say that. So I don't know if that kid was 10 or not, or how old the kid was. Nonetheless, you know, I just want to put that out there. Real quick, let me go ahead and kick it to DJ and thank everybody for coming out tonight to support the space as well, too, guys. Appreciate it. I know everybody been doing a lot of Juneteenth festivals this weekend, and you have Father's Day. Some of you probably took some of the men out of your lives out to eat or cook for them or did something nice for them. So thank you for everybody. We don't generally do Sunday night spaces, but I did want to get this one in. It's been a while since we did a Sunday night space, so thank you to everybody that came out tonight and supported the space. Thank you to everybody that subscribed. I don't think we got any subscriptions to the YouTube channel, y'all. So maybe tomorrow night we'll go ahead and we'll get somebody to subscribe to the YouTube channel. I did tweet it out, so you guys see the tweet. Y'all go ahead and retweet it out. So maybe tomorrow night we'll get somebody to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you to the people that did support on Cash App, $, Newstoter, $, Newstoter. Let me go ahead and get to DJ and Professor, and we're going to close this thing out for the night so we can enjoy the rest of what's left of Father's Day. Go ahead, DJ, Professor.
Hey, come over to Brother Moko space. Excuse me. Come over to Brother Moko space. We having another Father's Day space over there too, so let's go.
All right.
Yeah, I second that. Come over to Brother Muko's space and let's talk about fathers over there. And but just to say what Tota said, this was a great space tonight. Thank you all for coming out, and let's remember that Black men are in their children's lives. I want everybody to understand that. That's the most important thing, because we know that white supremacy tries to tell you that Black men don't participate in their children's lives. That's a lie. So, and that's what I want everybody to take from this space. And as far as Sukihana goes, well, anyway, she's a commandant. There you go. Have a good night, everybody.
All right, guys. Once again, thank everybody again for coming out tonight. We'll definitely be back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You know the usual time slot. So we look forward to seeing everybody. Enjoy the rest of your night, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Father's Day. Everybody have a safe Juneteenth as well, too. And we'll see you guys tomorrow night. So peace.